It's Spidey's Outback time. Roll the intro.
Say goodbye to Remy's place. Looking for my friends on a Saturday. Where's Fantastic Lady, Chip and Journey, Beckerman and Robbie Fat Stacks? And they're like, don't you watch MadSpidey'S Outback? Where Lemmy shows up just like that. Live chat here with YouTubers. You better sub, bring a comic cover.
Bow down, bitches. Gobble, gobble, whack, bitches.
My best mate Lee Simon Sorrow. A Lee meme with some muscle. On here you better watch your language, or you won't get any of his Vegemite sandwich. Freaky said I come from MadSpidey'S Outback, talking comics and some smack. Welcome all to MadSpidey'S Outback. You better sub, bring a comic cover, yeah.
Yeah, so it's Spidey's Outback time. We do have a guest waiting in the wings. The one and only Mr. Rob Fatstacks of Comics.
How you doing?
Thank you for joining. I suppose we better we'll get the obligatory say hello to everybody in the chat first thing, even though there's only a couple of comments. We all know who's first. Mr. Las Crucius. I've been trying to, because I remember Doc saying it's not Las Crucius, it's Las Crucius or something like that. I remember him saying something like that. So I try to get it right at least. Remy's apparently watching. He must be out, I would say. Kenny Bird, hope you're doing well. And Four Color Commentary, just saying hello, howdy. Thank you very much. What's this? Close enough. I am an Aussie, so you allow me that the language barrier.
Right.
We all speak English. So many lies right now. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I know Old Wolf is doing his annual Hot Wing Challenge. That's always funny watching him squirm.
Yeah, I think Mr. Comics 89 is doing his 1,000 subscriber giveaway thing, and
I know, Tony into the Commieverse or whatever was doing his thing. He was doing a Doctor Who one, even though when I tuned in, everybody was just showing normal comic books, nothing to do with Doctor Who.
Yeah. I'm watching on Instagram a video of somebody making a sourdough bread turkey.
Sourdough bread?
They're making sourdough bread, but they're making it so it looks like it's a turkey.
Oh my God.
Yeah, once it's cooked, it does look really, really close. It's pretty crazy, but
I know Beck falls down that rabbit hole sometimes, or it should be like, like people making like glass sculptures from like scratch, or making like one of those fancy like resin, wooden tables or something with a design in it and things like that. And like some of it's really fascinating, but
I'm curious how sometimes when people come up with these things, right? That's more the thing. It's like, okay, and then like it's cool, but like I don't need my bread to look like turkey. I've got turkey for that. Just make my bread look like bread. The other one I saw yesterday was somebody doing these things was basically like Thanksgiving sushi. So it wasn't actually sushi with fish, but like they took like a rotisserie chicken, but they took like the skin and laid it out off the chicken breast and laid it out. Then like shredded some chicken there and put some stuffing and some mashed potatoes and a little bit of cranberry sauce, and then they rolled it and sliced it like it was sushi.
Oh, make it look like sushi.
And then served it with like gravy.
Oh my God.
And I'm sure it tasted absolutely wonderful. But it just seems like that's a lot. Who comes up with this? So that's like, why'd you go through all that effort just to make fake sushi that was turkey stuffing, and just because, I guess,
Yeah. So I did actually watch something the other day. I stumbled across it. I think it was on a Facebook reel or something like that. But somebody had literally made, like, they'd found some like old driftwood or something like that. They'd put it on a big table, flat surface, and it was all like really weird sort of shapes. And they had 3 pieces of it, and they put it on the table, stuck it to the table, but then on the actual sort of, I suppose you could say, like concave surface, like that wasn't part of the driftwood, they painted a scene from Star Wars.
Mm.
There was like one of the battles in space and stuff like that, and then poured resin through the whole thing, and it actually looked really, really cool. But it's like, where do people come up with this stuff?
That's
Some
a,
people
that's a, that's a
have too much
difference
free
between
time.
artistic individuals who can visualize and see that type of stuff versus
The rest of us plebs.
yeah, exactly.
Well, the one that always got me was some guy somewhere. It obviously had to be in America because it was pennies, but he'd laid a whole kitchen floor, like a penny, like penny, 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 like the whole kitchen floor, and then resined the whole kitchen floor in pennies. And I'm like, that just looks, it looks cool for what it is, but I wouldn't go through that kind of patience or even contemplate doing something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's durable, but gaps between it, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember what I don't think they even did anything yet for the gaps. I think that's what they must have put, like, the resin in to seal it all, and then they must have put like another something on. I can't remember what they did on top to try and, obviously, because if you walk on resin, yeah, it solidifies, but it's still got that little bit of softness to it. So I don't know whether they put like some sort of clear concrete or something over it, or I don't know. I can't remember. It was a while ago, but some weird stuff.
Yeah,
So,
stuff happens.
yeah, exactly. So Biggie Shaq this morning. I thought I thought the episode was going to be over in like half an hour. The way he was just firing books one after another, after another, after another.
Yeah, that's all right. Sometimes it's good to have a little bit of a faster paced show. Yeah, it doesn't always have to be 90 minutes. So that it worked out well for me because then I had time after that show was over to box up the winnings, get them packed up, labels printed, ship out, go to the bathroom, and before the next show that I was going on versus scurrying from one to the next.
Yeah, because usually it's like, oh, we're running short on time, and like, yeah, just we'll get through this, just show your last book or whatever, and then we'll do the giveaway, and then say thanks, and then we'll go, sort of thing. Whereas this time you're like, I can actually get up out of my seat, and
yeah, it worked out well, and it's. Like he said, I just don't have like super crazy stories to tell about these, and some people are different levels of storytellers than others, or more long-winded than others, right? So I don't think there's definitely nothing lacking from the show at all. So I was happy with it. Biggie's a riot. I think was nice thing is that I think the first time he was on, if I go back and watch his original video, I think his internet was acting a little wonky the first go round, whereas this time he had a good solid connection.
yeah.
So that's all I can ask for.
I just like how this was an A-OK from this guy, and this is an A-OK from this guy, and I'm like, have you bought any big books? Are they all been given to you?
You make some people make friendships and stuff else. Some of those have been given a long time ago. Some of them more recently. Some of them, people get upgrades of their own stuff and they, pass on stuff and.
But some absolute, and Biggie's always good value. Always like hanging out with Biggie. He's always good value.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree. Kind of big crazy shit. I had so much stuff stacked up here. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get through it.
Oh God.
I'm
What,
trying to
or mail calls or?
yeah, you know, I'm trying not to do. I'm trying to keep them at a consistent length,
Mm,
you know, or fairly short, because it seems to play into a sweet spot for getting shared out.
that 12
Uh,
minute mark you mentioned last week.
12 to 16 minutes, whatever.
Mm,
Because I've been getting lately some much better traction on some of
mm,
the videos. So just trying to be consistent in what I'm doing.
mm.
And with that, sometimes it was like all of a sudden, like I got a glut of things start coming in, and I'm like, God, what do I? Trying to figure out. Okay, when do I do this? When do I do this? I don't want to. I want to get some of these boxes out of here, but at the same time, I don't want to record too many things too far out in the future, because then it's like things sit there, and I go, oh, but I really want to show off that now, and like,
Mm. And sometimes it's hard too, because I've noticed you like unbox something and you get like those big mailers that, you know, sort of, you know, like good sort of decent thickness, but it's literally just one slab in there.
yeah,
So you're like, but you might have ones that might be the exact same size again, but they might have like 20 or 30 raw books in there. So I think you're trying to find the happy medium between how long will these take to show like these 3 or 4 boxes, or can I show like 10 boxes because they've all got like one slab in each?
yeah. I like to have a mix of. So far, it's generally about like 2 slabs and a couple things of raw books.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I have noticed that sort of lately as well.
that seems to be a pattern that has worked well for me for the most part. And I start grouping these. I got things like staged down here where I'm going like, okay, well those 2 slabs, those 2 slabs, those two. Okay, and I was like, okay, but now it's like, what do I have right here? And there's actually my biggest thing is because I've been doing like the mystery boxes on Thursday, and I try to get the mystery boxes in a somewhat timely manner. Is I'm sitting there, I got a CGC submission return that's sitting here that I have to run at some point. I've got a CBCS submission return to run at some point, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to probably break from my current format and add an extra show for the
Oh,
week. You know,
those unveilings, they got like quite a few books in those boxes. Yeah,
yeah, but even if they're only like one of them, I think is like 4 books. Although there's a 5th book on the way from CGC, so I'll hold it until I get that one, and I'll do all 5 at once. But
Mm,
even and that box that'll be a 10-minute video. But
mm.
it's like, okay, I got enough other stuff that it's like, unless it's gonna sit there and wait until January, I'm gonna have to run a special, which is fine.
Mm.
Extra content. Because I don't like because like some of the stuff like, oh, I don't want to put that. I don't want to put pictures of that out, or I don't like to spoil my own videos, so I try not to like post pictures of things that I haven't yet unboxed on the videos, or I don't want to put things on the wall that before the video airs, type thing, you know.
Yeah, because you do know people are going to be like, hang on, you didn't have that up in that right hand corner last time. What's going on here? Yeah, people can be very observant when they want to be.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'd like,
Yeah,
and it's
well,
weird because I'll quite often like I don't get many parcels, so I'm not like 'cause I know you'll be like, I'm doing a mail call and you'll have like a stack like this. Whereas me, I'm like, I have a stack like this, which is literally 1 or 2 at the most. But I still forget what the hell I order, even though I only get 2. Like if I got like a stack like that, I'd probably have an hour-long video. I'd probably have to do a
oh,
live for it.
there's like 2 mystery boxes right now that you might be interested in. Um,
No?
there's one from Shop for Comics put one up. He's only doing 5 boxes, but they're like, is it?
Those are the ones that are they're like $25 or something.
Yeah, his are $25. Like
Okay.
8 comics, $25. He's usually pretty big on Marvel stuff generally, but
Mm,
you could always have that shipped to. Yeah, it's $25 shipped, so you can have it shipped to my place and
mm.
your usual stuff. And then the other one is Jimmy Jam's garage sale. He's doing a Deadpool themed
Okay.
mystery box. It's like $48 shipped.
I don't have many. Well, there's only really one Deadpool book that I want, but
It's not all Deadpool, but
mm,
it's basically every box has like 1 or 2 Deadpool books in it, and then there's other stuff. But
I'm just waiting for the one time that I'm going to jump, because I've always wanted one from the guy from the man from Beantown,
yeah,
because
I was
he
just looking at,
does boxes a bit like Eddie does. Like it can be very Marvel centric and old book centric. But every
never
time
mind.
I've asked him,
Jimmy Jam's boxes sold out.
oh, there we go.
It was each box contained 8 books plus one extra book added that's catered to each person.
Okay.
And would contain Deadpool and X-Title books, predominantly Marvel, but there would be a little bit of DC and maybe some indies in the box. Keys throughout. Grand prize would be off all 20 spots would be entered in to win the entire run of Dazzler 1 through 42.
Yeah. Yeah, I could say that that would be quite interesting if I won that. Try to get 42 books over here.
Yeah.
God. But yeah, like I always remember like DJ's unboxings for the Beantown one, and I'm like, that would be a box I'd love to get. But like every time he puts one up, he hasn't put one up for a long time, but every time he puts one up, it's like, no, I'm not shipping international. No, we're not. I can't do that, and whatever like that. So I just went. Like, obviously, I have an avenue now, but back then I didn't. And of course, Ruby G occasionally does some mystery boxes as well. But yeah, sometimes you don't even get past the point of they're like, yeah, I know you're in Australia. I'm not letting you have a box.
Well, and that's why I was looking at, first of all, when I saw a couple of these that were inexpensive,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, hey, I thought of you. I said, hey, this is a price point that, I know it's not that big of a, they're low risk, and I knew that these ones were probably Marvel heavy, and you're gonna, be, hey, it's not even with the exchange rate, it's not killing you, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And then it's like you just ship, consolidate them, but people who
That's
buy
why Eddie's boxes seem to work the best for me, because even though it's sort of, I think the first one I bought was $100 or $120 shipped, and then the next one I think was 120 or 130. By the time you do the currency conversion and then obviously get it to you and then pay for shipping to get it here and all that sort of stuff, it ends up costing me about $250, $270, something like that. But I look at the books in there because he's very old school centric most of the time. And I'm like, this book would cost me $50 here. This book would cost me $20 here. It might be $5 to $10 books for you guys, but for me, I look at it and go, I have got my money's worth, even with the currency conversion. And that's why it actually works out quite well for me. But yeah, when you start going to sort of your bigger, heavier boxes, if people start going, oh, these ones are 250, 300, it starts becoming a bit of a risk for me if I get a crap box. Unless I know them, obviously. If I know somebody puts out a fire mystery box and I know I'm going to enjoy it regardless and I can afford it, I'll do it.
right.
But they're always fun to do one occasionally. I like the surprise. Why aren't people buying your boxes, Ruby G? You filling them with crap? No.
Ties them. Boy.
Oh, I thought I heard a ding then. No.
Or did you share this out other places other than the Goon Squad, or?
Yeah, put it in like all 5 chats that I'm part of. Hey, Matt. Yeah, and I think like what somebody said earlier. Yeah, like what Nick said earlier, there must be a few lives going on at the moment, so that's all right. It'll either be a very short one or one that when people jump in, they will join. So Thanksgiving is next weekend or this weekend?
This coming Thursday.
Okay. Oh, Thursday. Okay. So for me, it'll be like Friday night. So it'll be sort of like my weekend sort of thing. So, and you're still going to run in. Oh, I suppose being on a Thursday, I won't really. The streams are crossing tonight.
Well, we're off. It's holiday, so we're off Thursday and Friday.
Okay. So it's basically a long weekend, regardless.
Yeah.
Is that including you, or you don't really get that time off because of the international side of things?
No. Actually, we're off. So because it's I still get my national holidays because like my Romania team gets all their Romanian holidays off, and the UK team gets their UK holidays off. So yeah, I get my American holidays off. We have the fewest holidays of any of our regional offices, including the Australian office and everything else. Everybody has more days off than the United States. The US, we only get 10 holidays during the course of the entire year.
Okay.
So like the way it comes up, especially since we get these 2 days here for Thanksgiving, like then we'll get this coming up for Christmas, we'll get the 25th off. That's it. Everybody else in the company will be off the 25th and the 26th, except for the US office. We'll be open the 26th, which is fine because there ain't nothing going on. Everybody so many people take the day off, including the businesses that you would interact with. So if we do work, it's like the deadest day there could possibly be. So basically I'm actually taking the day off, the 26th, and I'll have I have one person who's working in Romania. No, one person is working in the US that day. That's it. If they need me, they can call me, but the expectation is that there's nothing for them to do, hardly.
You could just confuse them and say, well, it's Boxing Day in Australia, and I have many Australian friends, so I need to have a public holiday for
and Canada and the UK and
all the English Commonwealth countries. Yeah.
Actually, half of my Romania team is taking American Thanksgiving off because because so here's the thing, right? Is like they serve and support the UK and Europe, but still that's a very small amount of the business that we support right now. My team supports primarily US, and so they go. There's not enough work, not enough people to deal in business with, and they're caught up with stuff, and they can take the time off. They need to take the time off because they have to burn PTO days. Yeah. So they're all, since it's not going to have any big impact, I might as well take those days off. It's like, all right.
Yeah. No, exactly. But it's funny that Darren mentions this because obviously him being in Western Australia. Because I remember mentioning when I had that that day off for our Aussie Rules Grand Final, which is literally only like our state, and that is it. And there is, but that's only been a recent thing within the last decade. Whereas, we have the big horse races, the Melbourne Cup, which was on the first Tuesday in November, and we've had a public holiday off for that for I don't know how long. Like it's been a long time, 20, 30, whatever years. But it's generally seen as most people, even if they don't take the Monday off, because obviously weekend off, Monday, and then Tuesday off, it's sort of like, why even bother coming in on the Monday? Because it's going to be quiet as all hell. But yeah, it's pretty much it's almost like a statewide sick day, regardless. Most people don't go into work for one day, but it is a bit silly to have a day off for a sports event.
Yeah, no, we have the problem is like my Romania team. They build up so many PTO days because they'll take they take days off, but what'll happen is they have so many religious holidays and saints days in Romania as national days off. And they changed. It used to be that they only used to get them on whatever day it fell on. So if it happened to fall on a Saturday, they wouldn't get it. Well, the company changed its policy, whereas like if you had a day holiday and it fell on a weekend, then you'd get it on a weekday, as observed.
We get that
So,
sometimes too.
so now they get it all the time. So now it means like every month they've got like 1 or 2 paid holidays. And then they would take, 1 or 2 vacation days and piggyback it with it. So they end up with like 5 days off in a row. But HR comes to me as the manager and yells at me and says, "You're not letting your people take enough time off because they're accumulating too much time off, or they're not taking 5 days off in a row." And you're trying to explain to them, they're taking 5 and 6 days off in a row, but because they're taking it off with the holiday and the weekend or something. It's like, I don't know what to tell you, just because they're not taking a month off at a time. But I literally had my team. I was told that like one of my team members between November and the end of December has to take 12 PTO days in that amount of time, plus all the holidays that they get, because they have to be below a certain number by the end of the year.
Oh, yeah, they've racked up too much. Yeah, well, what we call annual leave time. Yeah.
Right, exactly. I'm like, oh my god, I got to lose 10 days out of and they have a fair amount of. I think they have like in November and December they have like 5 holidays on top of it all. So
yeah, so and that's like where it goes back to like us as well. Like most of the time, yeah, if a public holiday falls on the Saturday or the Sunday, like if it's generally the Saturday, you might get the Friday off. If it falls on the Sunday, you get the Monday off. But it's sort of like not always the same rule, which is really weird because it's like, okay, yeah, if Christmas falls on the Saturday, Boxing Day's on the Sunday, you'll probably get the Monday, Tuesday off as public holidays. Matt's really trying to rub it into CJ at the moment. But yeah, or like early in the year, sometimes if we have like our, like if there's a state one or, something that's not observed by the whole country, if it falls on the weekend, you might not necessarily get it during the week. Which is, yeah, I don't know. It's like you think if you're going to stick to a rule, stick to it for everything, not for just some things and not the other things. Oh my God, how many accounts have you got, Matt? Oh my God. Oh, yeah, it's really weird. Because Romania's primarily Catholic sort of based.
Yeah, but they have also they have Orthodox and non-Orthodox.
Yeah.
So a lot of the holidays they'll have like their choice that they're either taking this day or this day, or for Orthodox whatever. And then they have like there's at least one Saint's Day every single month. It seems like.
Oh God.
But anywho, yeah.
It's actually interesting to
It's 3:30 in the morning there.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, on Saturday, Sunday,
definitely
Sunday,
no
3:30 in the morning Sunday. That's what it is. No, they're not social. Well, I mean, democratic socialist, yes. I mean, just like most of Europe. They have health care for their citizens and education and all those types of things.
Yeah, maybe back in the early days it might have been a bit different, but
before that they were communist. But the matter of fact, right now it's one of those things where when I talk to them, like so the team that I have that works for me, they've never known communism, but their parents knew the fall of communism and stuff and such. So, or the end of communism there. But It's funny is that I see also, yeah, they're very much like Greece. Well, mostly a lot of Europe is like that, and let's be honest, the United States is socialist too. The difference is we don't give our money to the people; we give it to corporations because corporations know what's better for us and will take care of us, obviously, because they always have the people in their best interest. He says sarcastically. Um, we subsidize the companies, we subsidize their taxes, we subsidize, oh, you need to develop drugs, here, let's give you the money to develop it. Oh, you've developed this drug that we paid for, why don't you sell it to us at the highest price of anybody in the world? That sounds like a great deal for us. Oh, we don't want to give health care to our people, let's subsidize health care insurance companies and stuff, and then have them then sell the health insurance to people, but not enough to actually cover all the stuff that they do. Come on.
And charge you an absolute premium for it too.
That's right.
Mm.
We're this, but hey, but we got 12 aircraft carriers. So there you go.
Subsidize people.
Not like we subsidize the corporations, Comic Journey. Nowhere near.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I know, like, we complain every year that, like, our private health care is, oh, it's going up again. It's always going up and things like that. And it's like, but a lot of people forget that we have free healthcare system in place as well.
Yeah,
and it's like a lot of countries.
Private healthcare is an option.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, yeah, if you're, I don't know, for argument's sake, if you need to get some major dental work done, that's seen as, a non-emergency or non-something or other like that. If you're on the free healthcare, yes, it's going to cost you $20,000-$30,000 or whatever probably to get it done, because you're only going to get a small chunk taken out. Whereas you have private healthcare with full cover, you will get, you won't have to pay hardly anything out of that, that big sort of sum of money. But then you have the other things where, you can go to an emergency room. Like when I had my appendix almost burst, I went to emergency. They did the operation overnight, and it didn't cost me a cent. Whereas if we didn't have that, that probably would have cost me thousands and thousands of dollars without full private healthcare.
Yeah, with full private healthcare, it still cost me thousands of dollars. So there you are.
Yeah.
It just didn't cost me tens of thousands of dollars. Comics by the Bay, Matt, not here in Florida. Let me tell you something. Florida, despite the fact that they're telling some companies they're not giving them special things. If a state has, and most of what I talk about was at the federal level, but at the state level, if a state gives any corporation tax benefits for moving their offices or building their offices or doing anything in their state, that they're subsidizing. They may not be doing direct handouts necessarily, but a lot of it comes in the form of tax benefits and whatnot in order to court those businesses to do there, because supposedly it's going to generate money for the state. But I don't know, it's not generating money from the state, from the company, because the company's not paying the taxes. It comes from the people, the workers, the average Joe Blow. Everything is about taking care of the company, not taking care of the people.
What's Darren saying? My brother-in-law has spent about $3,000 on his dog this year, and he had insurance. Yeah, because we have. I don't know whether you guys have pet insurance, like
private pet. You can have it private. There's no. Well, we don't even have public health care, so we definitely don't have public pet care. But there are private pet insurances, and I have it for my dog.
Yeah, like that's been a thing. Like only probably the last decade, I would like to say, and like because pet stuff is like more expensive than human stuff. Sometimes it's absolutely ridiculous. Like we don't have it for any of our pets or anything like that, but yeah, even that's a bloody rot now as well.
Now I have it for my dog, and so I used to have it on my previous dogs, and I'll tell you, like I had one dog that had to have had bladder stones and had to have surgery multiple times. And it was always nice that the insurance that I had, basically, I think I paid a $200 deductible, and then they reimbursed me 80% of what I spent. That was that plan. The plan I have now, with this other dog, actually get for my work. It was through my work. I actually could get it as a reduced rate, but I think I have a $200 deductible, and they reimburse me up to 100% beyond that. So don't. Now, this dog's been very healthy, knock on wood. I haven't had to use it more than for some medical exams and whatnot. But, when I go to the vet and the vet goes, oh, I'd really like to run this test, and they go tell you how much it's going to be, because most people go, well, maybe we'll skip that one, or because I budget it. I don't care. Oh, yeah, no, just stack up all the tests. I don't care. Just get it. Once you go over $200, just rack them up, because it's all free, baby.
Oh, God. Yeah, because I remember like a friend of mine like years ago, he was like, his cat had something wrong with his eye or something like that, and actually we're going to have to like do some sort of surgery. I can't remember the full details of what it was. And they'll be like, oh, do you have private pet health insurance? He's like, no, I haven't got that. And they're like, well, if you want to go ahead with it, the cat can live with it was like literally like with a closed eye, but it's not going to affect the rest of the health. Or it's going to cost you $8,000 to get it done. He's like, the cat can live with a closed eye; it'll be fine.
Right? Yeah. I used to. I remember when I used to take my original dogs in, for the bladder surgery and stuff, and they'd go over all this stuff, and they talk about like, okay, what happens if there's complications or whatnot. And I said, look, here's the deal: the dog is insured up to a maximum of $8,000. You could do whatever you need to do to save the dog's life up to $8,000 if there's a complication. After that, dog is a rescue. I can get another one for $250. And it's and people sit there and like, oh my God, you're a freaking callous bastard and stuff. It's like, you know what? It's not that I don't love my pets, but they're pets. Okay. And I'm not going to go into ridiculous financial destitution over a dog, or even like when my dog did finally, we put it down. They were talking about, well, she's going to have she had kidney failure and was going to have to go in dialysis for the rest of her life. So not putting a dog on dialysis for the rest of its life. That's not. No. Well,
that just sounds more cruel than anything. You're doing it for you, not for
exactly. And that's what I told the technician at the vet, because we got him especially. I said, well, I know it might sound cruel, but I just don't think that's the thing to do. And she's like, I wish that more people would be detached emotionally from their pet.
A lot of people, yeah, well, everybody sort of sees their pets as a son or a daughter or
I don't
whatever sort of thing.
I always just see them as it's just a dog.
But there is that point where it's like, yes, I might save my animal and I might have them for another 6 months or 12 months, but that's me being selfish. Is the animal going to be in pain if we still go through this? Oh, there might be some discomfort or some pain or whatever like that. Then you have to make that hard decision. Unfortunately, it's just the way things are. You don't want to go into you don't want to go bankrupt because you're trying to be selfish and save your animal and have them for another 12 months.
There are people who are. I have a friend of mine who they had all kinds of. They had cats. They had pet rats, lizards, snakes, all kinds of stuff. They had a rat that was sick, and they spent like $1,000 or something getting that rat healthy. And I don't understand. You have snakes that you feed feeder mice to. You have a sick rat. Why spend $1,000 on it when you can just make it lunch and save yourself the freaking...
I can see that set up a mile away.
I mean, it seemed to me
the law of
Sure.
nature. Give it to one animal to save the other animal. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're buying mice and feeding the mice this. So you got one that's sick. Fucking just there you go. Problem solved. Take. I mean, but
You might
apparently,
give
I don't understand.
make a stomach ache with a big rat, but yeah, it'll still work the same way.
Apparently, I just don't understand.
Oh god!
But
even having your animals put down costs a lot of money nowadays too. Like I remember like our last cat, like she was pretty sick and whatever like that. So we're like, mum and dad made the decision, okay, we're going to put it down because we didn't want to be in pain and everything like that. And it was still like a good several $100s to like put it down. And like they did a great job. Like they wrapped her up and stuff and, did all, flowers and nice stuff.
Then there's the body disposal charges and.
Oh, dad buried it in the backyard.
There you go. Like, take it to the tallow farm.
Yeah. But yeah, even still, it's like.
Or the tallow factory, I should say.
It's a bit. It's a bit much. It's getting to be a rort like everything else, unfortunately.
Indubitably. Wow.
There we go. Make sure I don't get back in the shot, otherwise she'll punch me.
Don't forget, anybody who's watching, it's still Saturday here on in the United States, and therefore you still have a few hours left to vote in the CBCA awards. If you haven't yet, people like MadSpidey would appreciate your vote.
Yeah, so I'm up for 2 awards, even though I'm only campaigning sort of for 1, and Rob's up you for 2 or 3?
I think 4.
4. Oh wow! I knew it was a few.
I think there's 2. There's 2 for only slabs, and then there's
just 2 for you.
2 for me, and then there's 1 for C3, which is
yeah, and I think I might have been actually talking about this. I think on an Insomniac with CJ. Actually, I think C3 should have like its own. If they're going to do a C3 thing, I think it should be its own like award, like not like a posthumous award. Obviously, it's not like that, but like a contribution award or something like that. If they want to go that way,
it doesn't need an award.
Yeah, it is. It is what it is, sort of thing. It's on its own entity, pretty much.
Yeah.
I thought you already voted, CJ. I thought you'd already done.
I think he's being facetious with you.
Yeah, probably. We all know CJ's like that. Are you still on? I know he said he's trying to take some time off from doing his live streams or whatever, even though he's actually done. Like I know he did one for Bronze's Mission 22 thing, but maybe he's not being facetious. Yeah, so there you go.
Well, then go vote, CJ.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have to do it live. You can just scurry through it, and because I'm pretty sure he's pretty much talked about it on live, saying who he's going to vote for anyway. So
vote for bananas. Every category, just vote for bananas.
Well, yeah, there is
fill
quite
in.
a bit. So you're still on your break. All right. Just taking some time away, which is always good.
Excuse me.
Yeah, it's a bit like that. Lady Fantastic's doing one as well. Yeah, so there's a few lives going on. Yeah, that's all right. I'll go to the hour mark, and if nobody joins, then we might just cut it short for once. I have seen
Yes,
it.
now entertain us, boy. Oh, just now.
You've been saying that from, say, day one.
I've
It's in
mistaken.
that
I
tempo.
realized that a long time ago,
Mm.
and not just that you hate people. The realization that I hate people.
Yeah, and when you and if you ever, which I'd say a great majority of people at least started or have done a stint in either retail or hospitality at some point, you get to build up a disdain for the general public if you have worked either of those industries.
Yeah.
Kangaroos.
Or if you live in a city with big people, with lots of people. Because
Yeah, I
the
suppose if you
problem is,
live in New York, or you live in, like LA, like in the heart of it or something like that, you would quickly.
yeah, because the thing is that not all people are freaking annoying and worth hating, but there's a lot of dumb people. And the more people you gather together in a close proximity, the more likely you are to encounter the dumb, idiotic people that just drive you crazy. So, at least that's my theory.
Yeah. And I suppose most people, like I know, like all my years of working in retail and then going to wholesale now, but it's still sort of retail because you're still dealing with the general public, even though the majority of our clientele is like account holders who are, electricians and contractors and stuff like that. But even dealing with contractors can be extremely painful, and sometimes even more, because they're like, I need it for this job and I needed it yesterday. And it's like, well, why didn't you ask us a week ago to get it for you instead of asking us today when it's an emergency? Or it's like people are so unprepared, or, have no idea what they're doing, even though they're supposed to be professionals.
Well, that's it. I'm dealing with the salespeople within our organization. They're dealing with the customers, and they're always behind and everything else, and they're bitching and complaining about things that they do. It's like, well, if you got them done, if you did this and gave us the proper lead time, you wouldn't have these issues. And it's always not them. It's always somebody else's fault.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
and that's the thing too, is like, because we're in the middleman position, because obviously we're dealing with we're dealing with the suppliers. We have to get the stuff from the suppliers to us, or whichever, and then get it to the contractor. So it's like it's the vicious cycle where it's like the contractor's yelling at us, and then we're yelling at the supplier, and the supplier's like, well, if we don't have it, we don't have it. There's not much you can do. And a lot of contractors don't necessarily take that answer as gospel. It's like, well, you must be able to get it. Well, it's like, well, if there's only one place that has it and they don't have it, what do you expect us to do? It is.
Yeah, no. The nice thing about, at least in my role, is that because I'm dealing with internal customers, essentially, my tact level is allowed to be much, much less.
Whereas we have to put a face on for, if you have to, because we have to serve at the actual, because we have the shop front counter as well.
Right.
That's like you got to be like, you can play around obviously with the regulars, the contractors you deal with day in, day out and things like that. But obviously, if you get like what the ones we call cashies, the general public,
right?
You have to put on a pretty face and say smile and how you going and stuff like that. You can't be like, what the F do you want or anything like that, obviously. But
yeah, no, I just tell customers no because they're our own. I said, no, you can't do that. But no. Look, okay, I tell you what, anything is possible if you have the right with the right approvals. So you go get me the CEO's approval to do this stupid thing, then I'll do it. Otherwise, no, because the direction has been no. So I do like that. I do like where I had a customer complaining.
Papa.
One of our guys the other day was complaining about something, and we wrote a very nice email response back to him because he was complaining that, oh, I don't want to be doing renewals because it takes away from my ability to sell and everything else. And we told him, oh, I'm sorry that somebody hasn't taken the opportunity to train you yet. That renewals is a perfect opportunity to get to know your customer and potentially sell them new product. And it was like, he's like, oh, okay, I'll do the renewal. How's it going, Papa?
So back out of hospital, which is great to hear. You're back at home, mate. That is awesome. What is this?
Why are McDonald's fries always cold? I've noticed that more and more lately. That, and they're not as good cold as they used to be. It used to be McDonald's fries were like the only ones that were good when they were cold, but now they're like crap. I think they've switched the potato that they use.
I've also noticed lately, especially around our area, that they came to forgetting to salt them. And like I don't necessarily mean like it doesn't have to be covered in salt, but a nice even layer of salt makes the Macca's chips awesome. So when you're eating them, you're like, this is boring. Yeah,
nobody wants plain potato.
Yeah, exactly.
Even the Irish.
Hey, shop. Still on IV meds though. Okay. Yeah, at least you're back home, so a bit more comfortable anyway. Oof. Hey, Caroline. I thought you were doing a live stream. Have you finished already? I'll send you the link just in case you want to jump on.
Oh.
Where are we? Caroline. Oops. Wrong one.
Nice. I need something to... I feel like I should be doing something with all this shit.
There we go.
I put everything away, damn it.
Bartending is where I perfected my... I'm just going to explain the history of the X-Men Psylocke until you stop talking to me. Strategy for dealing with conversations I don't want to have. I do love the banter between Papa and CJ. It's hilarious because Papa just gives it to CJ and CJ's like, well, nothing. It is hilarious. Oh, here we go. Here she is.
What's up, dudes? I was like,
I really should grab some books to put in.
Yeah, Rob, you need to, so I can fucking show you that mine's better.
Well, I was just gonna grab some stuff from the giveaway bin.
You're the giveaway man. Dude, y'all, I went to fucking Half Price Books. It was the craziest shit. I'm gonna show you what I found at Half Price Books. Oh,
I saw you were live streaming.
This little thing. You saw me? Oh my god, I gotta bet I'm gonna sneeze.
Let it rip.
Bless you. Thank you. Yeah. And a number 6. No, that's a number 8. And a number 6.
I may not be a DC guy, but I do love those old Swamp Thing covers.
Bernie writes in, man. He's just... Is she going to show now? Oh, God. Fucking... I'm not going to even just... Get me off the fucking screen, because I'm just going to piss him off, and I don't even want to deal with it.
No, that's the reason why we want to leave you up there.
No. It's just like, you know, how you got to act like a fucking bear is not even there. I just got to fade into the background or something. Can't even acknowledge it. Get me away. Yeah.
Give it away now.
Yeah. You guys go look up on eBay, type in Lois Lane 106. See how easily you think you can find yourself a copy of Lois Lane 106. Stop seizing on your books. Dude, it's getting cold, and my sinuses always geek out when the seasons change because the fucking weather dries it out and the pollen profile changes. Yeah.
I can attest to that because I've had this dry cough and sort of the sniffles for over a week now because we have when we have a cool change come in for a warm day, it's quite often a dramatic change, and they have this thing called what they classify as thunderstorm asthma. That if you have bad sort of like breathing problems or you actually have asthma and stuff like that, they always put out warnings to say, look, the change may cause that sort of stuff. And last week I got absolutely smashed with it, and I don't get allergies. And I don't have asthma, but I actually got copped with it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right.
Yeah.
I pulled some books to put into the giveaway bin.
Okay. Well, just show them. And
you show. I'll put mine off the side here. I show mine later.
I already showed mine. It's too late. Oh no, I did. I'll show you, but I found yesterday I had the longest week ever, and I went to my LCS, and then after that, I was like, okay, I'll go buy the half price books, even though they don't have shit ever, and their books are almost always the new shit, and they're dumb shit, stupid shit. I found a fucking Swamp Thing one there, like I almost died. So yeah, and it's not a bad looking book either. It's in quite nice shape, even though it's slightly miswrapped. Like I almost shat myself. Mark, tell them like how hard to find this book this is.
That one?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's more easier to find these days than it used to be.
This was the first. I mean, I've never seen it in the wild ever.
We have some great shops here for second time around stuff. So
yeah,
I'm kind of a bad.
I mean, you grew up, so you can take it off me, but you probably have been way more exposed we just have like
three good shops here in town that constantly get stuff in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just real close to me.
Yeah.
No, you don't see people showing it off online a lot. That's for sure.
You have people showing it off online?
No, I said you don't see people showing it off very often.
No. There's a couple of other people that I know have that book, but there are not many people that I know.
That's like the only key from that run almost.
No, there's like 77 or 72 or 70. I can't remember. It's the one with Catwoman.
Oh, you're talking about another issue, another scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I thought you said there's 70 something keys in that run. Like, no.
Fuck no. No.
It's a cool book.
There are a lot of really great campy covers from the run. Like,
oh yeah,
I would love to have certain chunks of that Wonder Woman run. I just cannot be beat in terms of like pulp or camp, like ever, and especially when like the whole switch from Wonder Woman to like Diana Troy and I Ching comes in, and she's like, "Then know your role, bitch," because like
issue 70.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, so Marvel went with like Miss Marvel, like MS. I'm not anybody's missus. I'm like independent. And then DC was like, shut the fuck up and make me dinner. And they went with like reverting Wonder Woman. So it was really cool, actually, and interesting. But the way that they both did their own thing. But I love them both. Obviously, I'm happy that we're in one way, but still. Whatever. They're great books. I'll show you Two Fingers, Papa. Talking about that, you guys, y'all are gross.
Grody to the max.
Yeah, I'm being fucking chatty.
Well, I think here's what I pulled to put into the giveaway bin here.
Show us what you got.
We'll throw in New Teen Titans. What is this, issue 26? They'll throw in a G.I. Joe 51.
What is this, Rob?
This is stuff that's going into the giveaway bin. I got to replenish the giveaway bin. Invaders 37.
Hey. No putting that in there.
Did you ever get that whole run?
Pit
Bob?
number 1. No, I still have to. I think there's like 2 issues I still need to get. Adventure Comics.
Black Day for the Legion.
Deadpool Secret Variant that's signed by Scott Koblish.
That's a weird cover.
What it was is there was this run. There was a secret comic cover for each issue, and when you put all the issues together, it was a whole nother story.
Oh, yeah, I never even seen those before. Which is not saying much, bringing them over
right.
here.
Here's Kitty Pryde and Wolverine, signed by
now
Chris
you're talking.
Claremont.
There you go.
The King of All Books, X-Force number 1.
I could have sworn you were done with those by now.
You're
No.
crazy, Rob.
Gunslinger Spawn number 6.
That's cool.
I'll put a Sandman oversized special. How about Marvel Feature presents Red Sonja?
That's cool.
Doom Patrol 116. Mark sitting down.
Yeah.
Justice Society of America issue 6.
Alex Ross goodness.
And issue 7.
Yeah, that Citizen Steel right there is awesome. Funny backstory with that one. That drawing predates that cover by a piece, and it's actually Commander Steel drawing. But when you get to that part in the series, it's Citizen Steel in the story. So it works. Slap it on there.
Yeah. So
Whatever works.
Oops. Good.
Yeah, sorry you're still on an IV, Papa, but I'm glad to see that you're back home at least, man. It sucks being away, dude. I don't know, Rob, how you could do it's so funny how different people are, but it bothers me to such a crazy level that you mix your titles and the brands behind you. Oh my god, I believe in
They're in
my brands.
the books that are behind me on display, they're in chronological release order.
Well, you're a dork. So if they're in, because I think they should be chronological and alphabetical. Are there
You can't do both.
If you have enough books, you can. But
You can do one and then sub organize it.
Yes, you
But
can
you can't.
prioritize.
But you can't.
There's a hierarchy. Right. I understand.
Right.
I understand.
So you would do them by what then? By title first and then by age?
And so what is your earliest year and what is your latest year?
The earliest year up there, I think, is 1945. And the
Miles
most recent is 2011.
11. That was not such a great year. Or was that 2001? That was 2001, right? Not 2011. It was September 11th, 2001.
Right. Oh my God. So yeah, that's
sorry.
It's a very, very decent span of books there, 45 to 2011.
Yes. So that's why they're displayed in chronological order. So,
I mean, it's relative, because to the Big Bang, that ain't shit.
I mean, when I've had different iterations of the wall before. I mean, when I first had it done, I did have it kind of grouped by characters or character family types and stuff. But that was long before I had as many keys and stuff that I have now. So now I just decided that it was just easiest to put them up in chronological order. And for the most part, that makes me happy, except every once in a while, there's an issue with a book that a book I want to be displayed is off camera. And You're like,
It's just
oh,
funny to see because everybody has their thing and everybody has their priorities. And sometimes it's color, sometimes it's character, sometimes it's titles, and it's just I like seeing how different people pick.
so yeah, and it's different for me. I do different things different ways.
Yeah, I get
So
you.
so this is just the wall, right? Is done this way. Obviously, like when I file my books away in my stuff, it's done differently. It's not done by year. Instead, it's done really by family group or by title. So like, I'll put stuff like, okay, this is a box that's got Spider-Man, and this box has got Miles, and this box has got Batman, and this box has got Detective Comics, and those are kind of grouped together.
Yeah.
So I can find, they're in families, my active boxes.
That's how I do mine, is through families. But I also have keep my DC in one specific section. And then
a section's getting bigger.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I have active boxes, and then I have archive boxes, which are completely different. So because I don't want to be in a situation where I'm constantly trying to shuffle books over and over and over and over again. So like if I'm working on a Batman run, which is an active title that I continue to run, once my short box that's on my shelf is full, I pull those books out of that short box, and I pull out a BCW bin.
You archive.
I rebag and board the books, and I put them in. I secure them for archive. I label that box. The box number gets logged, and then
your museum.
I'm like the where the Ark of the Covenant was hidden. There's a whole stack. There's just stacks and stacks of boxes.
Documents. Yeah, fuck.
The difference, then of course, there's a completely different scenario when it comes to my slabs. So slabs, I do, for the most part, I learned a long time ago because they're not as many, they're not as frequent, and I don't want to shuffle boxes around all the time. And to be honest, if we talk about it, I have 30 plus boxes of slabs. So to me, I have an active box of art books, which are sketch covers. I have an active box of signature covers, and I have an active box of just regular slabs. Books go in that box as they come in alphabetically within that box. They get logged in CLZ as to which box number they're in, and then once that box is full, it gets closed up, moved that way, and new box gets opened up. So I could have Amazing Spider-Man books in 20 different boxes, but I can find them because I can look them up in the app, and the app tells me which box number each one's in.
That's one way to do it.
It requires me to move. It requires me to do the least amount of shuffling and reorganizing constantly. Because again, when you have 30 fucking boxes, you'd have to be if you're doing it alphabetically, pure alphabetical, you're constantly having to shift books.
Not really. Like what another method is, you just buy a new box, and you put the new box in between where it needs to go. You're not just shifting books to the end of the alphabet kind of thing, because you'll notice
space is a thing though.
If you keep stuff alphabetized, you'll notice certain parts of the alphabet fill up a lot faster than other parts of the alphabet.
Sure, I have some miscellaneous boxes that I put miscellaneous books in that aren't.
I'm not talking about miscellaneous. I'm talking about like
no.
Like
I'm saying because I'm familiar with the
same box, and I put it between like H and I right there, and then that just alleviates all the stress, or it goes to the S's kind of thing.
Yeah, but again, with 30 fucking boxes of slabs, that's just not.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you understand how impractical that becomes.
No.
I'm going to have to get a box. I'm going to have to get a short box for slabs now because it's gotten to that point.
That's awesome.
Just crack them all.
It is crackable.
I just keep them in piles.
There's some that I wouldn't mind.
It works for me.
That I want to. Yeah, it's like whatever works for you, dude. Collect what you love. Collect how you love it.
Werewolf. If you leave a gap, eventually that gap gets filled. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Don't you have yours like towered also? You don't like, because like this, everyone's space is different. Like we have comic rooms. Like everything's like, it looks like you go to Pops' house. It looks like there's multiple LCSs in his house, like rooms, and like you don't have you don't have boxes like stacked or anything. They're all alphabetized and in running order and stuff. It's easy just to get to. And then here I have a comic room and there's tables and it's like a U through the room and then under. So nothing's like hard to access kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
For my raws and stuff, everything is like on rack shelves, right? And so there's only one box high per rack shelf until you get to the archive stuff. Then stuff gets stacked. On the slabs, most of it is single as well, although there are a few shelves that are double stacked in order to maximize my space that I had.
And that's what's in the attic. That's all archive. When runs in and runs fill, and you can seal a box and you don't have to go in it because there's nothing being added to that volume or that run.
Until something does come that you add to the
No,
run.
literally nothing will get. It's archived. It's closed. It's a finished run.
Yeah, but then sometimes I get a variant cover that goes right there. And
yeah. This is just raws.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Is raws. Yeah.
I have a closet that I had like a handyman come and like he measured the length of like short boxes and then made it a couple of inches longer, but like one short box deep or whatever. And so now I can like basically store probably 10 across and 5, probably about 40 short boxes if I wanted to. Really nice.
Yeah, well, the main racking has short boxes on it, and there's probably there's like 24.
Or just have a warehouse
40.
like Scott.
I don't know. There's a whole mess of it. Then you get to then there's boxes that are archived. They're turned behind them. I got additional racks of stuff. It's just
Different
it just
shapes.
adds up. It just adds up.
Oh yeah, space is definitely the limiting factor, and like a reason why I kind of want to get rid of like at least half my shit. I know I can live happily without half of the shit I have in terms of books, like easily, and it's just like fucking doing it. I mean, Are
you still selling books on some of the auctions, like on
every
Southern
once in
and
a
stuff
while,
like that?
but it's just like,
Or is that more just doubles and stuff?
well, I'll do it. It's just like there's been so much shit going on around like work and when the time it comes to get to the weekend, the last thing honestly that I want to do is have to like talk to other humans and try to sell them shit. I just want to like hang and be with my friends, and I would rather shoot
And
the
yet
shit.
you're here.
Huh?
And yet you're here.
And yet you're here. I'm here. So kind of, no, I love doing this shit. Like fucking, I'd love to, this is therapy for me. Like fucking, so.
Oh, you know what I bought the other day to put in here?
What?
Of course you don't. There you go. That's in here.
Sorry, Chris isn't here. What is that doing in there?
I know, right? I can't wait till it comes out.
Oh
Hear him.
god, Chris is gonna go nuts. Oh god. But yeah, to answer Darren's question from earlier, I've always been a Marvel head. Like I'm not saying I don't like other properties. Obviously, like I used to have DC books, I used to have independent books, all that sort of stuff. I ended up deciding to cull everything that wasn't Marvel.
Call the herd. Yeah.
Yeah.
People
like
go through
I go,
phases.
yeah, I go, and that's the thing. Like, I always said if I ever wanted to collect a DC book, it would be Batman, and it's like that is way too hard to start so late in life because I was like old school and
so
it's just so long, and I'm a completist as well. So like,
no, but you're never going to be. You don't necessarily need to do that. That's where I went. First of all, there's volumes, so you could say I'm starting at volume 3, right, which is the current volume, of which still 100 something issues. Then you can say, then if you actually get caught up on all that, then you can sit there and okay, well maybe I'll collect it, volume 52. It's only, or volume 2. It's only 52 something books. And then when I started going to volume 1, it was like, okay, I'm going to do from 600 on up or whatever. And it's like I've slowly worked my way down and to the point where I'm now working on my 250 to 300 range, and I'm going like, okay, that's pretty much where I'm going to stop. I'll still have a few books below, but I'm perfectly good stopping at 250 on up, knowing that below 250 starts to get really close and into the golden age, and that's just going to be a little bit more expensive than I want to go. I mean, it's actually closer to 100s for that, but still, I'm happy to call it quits at 250.
So there's things, it's funny, Rob, that you say you would go it that way, because I would go like the almost exact opposite and say, like, if you're gonna want to like do something, you can collect that. Fucking go for the volume 1 first. But that it's just funny how different people work.
Well, I started with volume 2 because I started collecting Batman with the New 52.
Yeah.
And then volume 3, and I had all those. So then I started going like, okay, well, let me go down. I'll go down to 500 initially was what I decided I'd go down to on the Batmans. And then I'd slowly get, as I finish it up, I'd go, okay, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and go a little bit lower or something. And for now, I say 250s where I'll stop. Who knows? Maybe I'll eventually go lower, but I don't anticipate it really.
How low can you go?
I'm really perfectly happy having issue 250 on up with that. Whereas Detective Comics, I haven't collected but hardly anything from volume 1.
My LCS has a Batman 251 there right now on the wall for $199. Which just like I can't spend that much money on a comic book. Not for that one, at least. I don't love him. I don't love it enough. I don't have enough love. Like,
and I think the other point for me as well is I don't want to go to collect another type of thing. Like, I know I collect a lot of different Marvel stuff, but it's hard enough getting books over here, let alone going to another thing that I'm not. If I spent money on that stuff, then I'd have no money for the other stuff, sort of thing as well.
It's tough, and then like maintaining focus and discipline in comic collecting is so fucking difficult because there's so many amazing fucking things and amazing things to love, and if because I am who I am, like, God, it's like trying to like a squirrel chasing nuts or something, dude. So it's just difficult sometimes. So you really, it's just about what you want. At the same time, like, you need to be disciplined too, and it's also like very dependent on like expendable income and how you want to collect and all of that kind of different things.
That's where I had a lot of fun when I said I'm going to collect this entire run of Space Cadet. It was only 12 issues. Made it real. It was a lot easier to swallow. Or my Dell 4-colors were one. I'm just collecting only the Dell 4-color Flash Gordons.
Yeah.
It's like there's like 7 or 8 of them. That's like all I need. That's it.
Yeah, and that's what I said. Like, I probably will never go there unless like an opportunity arises. But I always said I wouldn't mind at least one Golden Age book, which I do have now. But like, I'd like a Marvel-centric Golden Age book, like a Cap or a Subby or a Human Torch or something. But I don't.
Would you like to buy a Submariner book from Timely Comics Submariner book?
$5?
But it was like, yeah, like obviously that was a different story. But like, yeah, if I got one, I got one. But I'm not going to be like, whether there's some books now where I'm like, oh, I really need to get that book. And obviously, finish my Spidey run, getting there's certain other books that, I'm eyeing off and things like that. But it's just dealing with pricing is sometimes hard and currency conversions and all that sort of stuff. Like, I actually spotted on one of my Facebook groups, a guy was selling some big keys. And I'm like looking at the prices going, that's a lot of money. Like, there was an Iron Man 55. And I'm like, I don't know. I know it sounds expensive, but I'm thinking, I think he wanted $550 for it, and it was a 2.5 slab. And I'm like, I don't know whether that's. I honestly don't know whether that's like. I wanted to just bite the bullet and say, nah, fuck it, and just buy it. But then I'm like looking at it, going, well, can I maybe get it in a raw? Maybe cheaper?
That's a price where I would have to do research. I would have to say, but like for the price that I found, like these books at, it was not a price where you would think, because it's like maybe like a fifth of that. But it's a hard one. It's tough because again, it's all about how much you have too, and I'm hopefully, fingers crossed. I think I got a job offer. I'm supposed to get it on paper this coming week, but like if your expendable income changes, your goals can change too. Certain targets and objectives can change. And and it's also like about smart budgeting, and you can use your collection to change your collection. If there are things that you don't care about anymore, and I've tried to do this thing like, can you go to sleep and be fine not having these anymore? And there are so many books like I have in my collection right now where I would be like, yes, I'm totally fine going to sleep, and if I woke up they'd be gone, I'd be fine. But there are some books in my collection, and it's a minority, but I definitely have there's a stack of them where it's like I'd be racked. Like if I got rid of my X-Men 101 or my X-Men 14 or things like that, or my Fantastic Four 52, like I'd be racked, but there's other things where it's just like, Young Avengers, or like almost so many Avengers things, and DC and a lot of Black Panther stuff. I mean, I could sleep without, but certain ones, I can't, just can't. People.
Whereas I get very attached, like, and that's why I've streamlined it to only collecting Marvel, because I'm like, yeah, I might have doubles, and I'm happy to get rid of the doubles, but I can't just sort of go, okay, I'm not going to collect this anymore or anything like that.
I've had to do that.
I'm a hoarder when it comes like that.
I've gotten really bad, and I've had to stop myself, especially with like certain Fantastic Four things. Like, oh my God, the new Fantastic Four, when I come across those Art Adam new Fantastic Four books, and it's like, Caroline, you've got 4 copies of each one. Fucking calm down. But it's like, there are a couple issues I love so goddamn much, and when you find them for a couple of bucks, it's hard to say no. I don't know.
Whereas I always buy to keep. I don't always buy to go, oh, maybe later on down the track I might do it as a specs resell thing. I don't sell things. I just give them away or I keep them.
Well, yeah, there's that. It's just like, you just never know. I don't know. Mark, what's your relationship with comics? Because you've grown up where that's not been, I don't know. You've grown up where you've had a different way of looking at them, a very different way, I guess, or a different relationship maybe, or for longer. I don't know.
Part of life.
Yeah.
I can't think of a time without comics. They were around before I was born in my household. It's like my kids with my comics, like they were here present before my kids were born. My dad's been collecting nonstop since the early 60s. So I hear people, ask people here and there, what's your first comic? What do you remember? I have no clue. I can't tell you the first comic I read. I can't tell you the first comic I held. They were just, for as long as I can remember, there's always been floppies in my toy boxes. And growing up, there's floppies laying in Finn's room. I buy him the kids' new books still when they come out. And it's just always been part of life.
Yep.
I absolutely love these characters, Marvel and DC. Mm-hmm. People think that I just like DC. No, that's just what I currently read. Been wanes and flows of the companies in my lifetime, I mean,
you just love comics, right? I think you like comics.
Yeah.
And you're not afraid of giving your opinion.
No, that's why I'm so passionate about my opinion, because it's that get off my lawn mentality that I have even at my age, because I've been around them for so long that I see how much they've changed, and they don't always change for the better. I don't give a shit what anyone says. They don't always change for the better. And that's Marvel and DC. And when they change for the worse, it corrects itself when fans respond negatively to it by not buying those books or sending in those letters saying, why the fuck is Jason Todd back talking Superman? And they eventually correct it. They kill Jason Todd. They cut Superman's hair. They bring him back from the dead. Whatever the problem is, they correct it.
Right.
But without that criticism, not just hate. There's a difference between criticism and hate. Like, without that criticism, they don't think they're messing up. And when it comes to these characters, the fans know first. I don't care who's writing them,
I
who's
mean, it seems
owns
like the
them.
same kind of. It's a very democratic process, just like it
Yeah.
is, like voting or anything,
That's
like that,
bubble,
right?
baby. Yeah, absolutely. We vote with our wallets and with our feedback when it
Thank
comes
you.
to stuff like this. But
Which is the way it should
I
be.
do love that question, like when people ask like about your first what you read first, because I don't remember what I read first, but I can remember some of the earliest, biggest impacts comics had on me. And one of them was the Marvel versus DC event, where you could actually go into the store and vote on who you want to win the fights.
Yeah, they had little
And
booklets. I remember that.
Well, it was a card kind of thing that folded open, and I
Yeah.
remember vividly being in the shop arguing with grown-ups who were dumb enough to vote for
It was like what I had for
Wolverine over
politics. It
Lobo.
was
I'm
like
like,
the
what are y'all
presidency.
talking about?
It's what
This
kids
one.
had for fucking politics.
And then
Marvel versus
Kingdom
DC.
Come. Kingdom Come was massive. Like, I remember reading that in third grade. I remember how that book absolutely changed the way that I looked at comics. They became more than just cartoons on paper for me.
That's awesome, man.
I did my 6th grade book report on Kingdom Come, and when I turned it in, the teacher asked Bubba to. I just told you to get Bubba to. When I turned it in, she didn't grade it. She called my parents because she's like, "Oh, this isn't appropriate." This is da, 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 da. So what I did the next day is I brought in the 1,000-page hardback novelization of Kingdom Come, because I got it while we were on vacation, because I just wanted the dust jacket on it because it was a beautiful Alex Ross image. I took that to school with me the next day, and like this is what I did it on, is this book here. And then she gave me an absolute 100 on it. Never read that novel a day in my life, even now. But same concept.
Yeah.
Had she read,
You
far
just had to
enough
prove a
into-
point.
You
Well, if you
chat
would've read-
GP'd the hell out of that thing.
But if she would have read my book report, she would have seen that I put my heart and soul and both feet into it, because I did 100% did. It was a quality report through and through. It was a 100, but she didn't read past the word Superman. You know what I mean? Like the first time that's like, nope, got to stop, which is fair, which is absolutely fair. But she also wasn't familiar with what an Elseworld title was and how serious this shit can get.
Yeah. I was probably about 9 or 10 when I realized that when the X-Men were writing about the legacy virus, that they were talking
Deadpool?
about the AIDS epidemic. And that's
What
when
Deadpool has, right?
Huh?
That's what Deadpool has, right?
He
He
I'm
has the
not
legacy
sure,
virus.
but I know Cable has it.
Fucks up his skin.
I don't know about Deadpool because I don't really read Deadpool. But I know Cable has it for sure. And so
the nanotech virus, is that the legacy virus too?
yeah, that's it. But it made me realize the power of comics, and I guess that was kind of my coming of age, in terms of they're not just about like crazy things or time travel or mutants or whatever. There's a bigger message that they're trying to send. Spam call review.
Sounds like me, Popper. I've got like 30 long boxes, 30 short boxes, and probably only read maybe a 10.
Oh, nice. Siamese Dream, Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah. This is Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. On vinyl, yeah, vinyl's man, and I'm not saying that I'm cool, because I'm not. I'm a fucking dork. But like, I collected vinyl like 20 years ago, and it was expensive then. And I was like, fuck this shit, I'm done. It's expensive, and you can store it cheaper digitally. Like, I'm sorry, it just is what it is. Like, I get the nostalgia, and honestly, I could tell you why, for certain reasons, why certain audiophiles would say vinyl is the best, and I get it, but I'm still fucking cheap ass. Well, yeah, so God Loves, Man Kills, one of the most powerful. I think I first read it when I was like 12 or 13. I first came across it. And whoa, being a kid from the South and like from the like Bible Belt, and it being about that preacher just kind of preaching hate and otherizing muties or whatever.
That was the one Brent Anderson did, wasn't it?
I don't know in terms of the art.
Yeah, I think it was Brent Anderson.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, you may be right. But it was just like standalone. Probably one of the best stories Chris Claremont has ever written. Just is beautiful. But I mean, it's comics shouldn't be political. I know, Taylor, but you know what? It's woker than you are. You collect vinyl for the artwork. Right. I mean, that's cool because there's some really awesome. People don't realize like fucking album art is goddamn like it's a thing.
There's a lot of comic artists that have done a lot of album art.
Yeah,
like I know because David Finch has done some quite a few albums. I know he did some Disturbed stuff. I think he might have done, was it a Korn album or something as well? I think Mark Brooks done some stuff for Tool. There's quite a bit of it.
That's cool. I saw Tool in concert back in college. That was crazy. Such a good show too. I got nothing. Say something, Fat Stacks. There you go.
Something.
Okay. Got you.
What are you chasing next, Caroline? Or you just whatever sort of comes along, or have you got something?
I don't know. I just need to get some better. Honestly, I need to. Robert Crumb did the Janis Joplin. Yeah, that. Yep, I know which one you're talking about. I need to get X-Men 96 and 98 to complete my Claremont X-Men. I just need those two, and then I'm done.
96 is 96 Moira McTaggart, or is that 94? No, 96 is first Moira McTaggart.
Yeah.
94
is first in story.
The new team. That's right.
Yeah, new team in storyline, like in the numbers. But then and
what was the other one? 98.
98. It's just got I think it's just got some Sentinels on it. A couple Sentinels. There's nothing super significant about it.
Rob, did you see where Jeremy Adams, Flash and Green Lantern writer, is about to be having a Flash Gordon series coming out?
Yeah, I saw.
I just picked up a Flash Gordon for my buddy Night Tiger. I don't know if you got. You know Night Tiger, Mark? You would like him. He's a good guy.
Person or a book?
He's both. No, he's a dude. He's a community guy.
I know who Night Tiger is.
He's a good guy, and
he likes his old school stuff.
He's got an amazing, Golden Age collection, but honestly, has amazing like bronze and modern too. The guy at Flea Market's like a beast and can find some of the greatest stuff. But I swear to God, like Florida, even though it's this tiny little wiener off of the edge of America, like all the good comics are there for some reason. I don't know why, but like it seems like there's so many good comics. I think it's because all the old people are there, and all the old people have all the good shit that they grew up with. They don't want to get rid of their good shit.
So all the comics go there to die.
Yeah, that's my theory, and I'm sticking with it. But I'm going to say that like 30% of all the best comics in the world are in the tiny penis of Florida. On the Bible. I'm just saying. Maybe more.
Still doesn't make anybody want to go there, though.
No.
Where, Florida?
Yeah. Except for maybe the theme parks.
Disney World, it's just so expensive. That's the thing.
The theme parks, the oceans, the cities.
It's got the state parks, Everglades.
It's a huge.
It's massive. Wildlife.
Yeah, everyone loves Florida. Everyone live there permanently, though.
Okefenokee Swamp.
Okefenokee Swamp is amazing. I'll get my hat out right now. I got from there. It's just an alligator head. The bill is an open mouth.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I've been down there.
The state's not that big.
It's not that big, no.
It's big enough. Takes like
Yeah, I
13
mean, it's very
hours to
diverse.
drive from the top of it to the bottom of it.
Like
I
northern
understand.
Florida is like Alabama people, but then
I'm-
you go to the tip and it's like Miami Cuban infusion. And so
Fusion, it is. That's it.
it is. It's true.
I know. California is a lot bigger. That's not. It's not a compare and contrast. Just Florida's not small.
No, it's not, but it's not big compared from my
California.
perspective versus I understand Georgia's perspective. Sure.
Dude, California's not even big compared to Antarctica.
Well, no, it's
Have you
not.
compared California to Russia today?
No,
It's
don't
tiny.
need to. I know. Yeah, it is.
Fucking tiny, Rob.
It is.
Dude, that'd be fun. I like seeing those little beach shop things that he posts on IG. It looks like they're always having a blast, like every day.
I just want to go to get Hulk Hogan's beep shop. Oh yeah, that little kid was so
Yeah.
cute.
He came in there just
Let
talking
me tell
snap with
you,
him.
brother.
T-dubs.
Florida's moist and sticky.
Yes. Perfect description. Any way you might translate those words is
Full of
accurate.
mosquitoes.
Yeah. How you guys doing?
Good,
Good,
man.
good.
How are you?
Good. I went to a mall comic convention today.
Oh,
What?
fucking show us.
Nothing
We'll
big. I mean, this whole stack was $90.
Don't
but-
care. Show us.
So I
Oh,
got
good.
Love it.
Adam where he's getting turned into rosemary.
He's a marijuana plant.
That's
Clearly.
definitely Treefer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good old Batman in the under
Checkerboards.
200.
Love it.
Second Falcon, low grade, but still.
Don't
Fire.
care.
Banger.
And
Worth
then
it.
related,
Banger.
this
Modern
book,
day.
how much were they charged? They charged. This is $7 they were asking for this. I was like,
Fuck
no.
yes.
Yeah.
I'd buy it
Yeah.
too.
Oh, that's nice.
Banger.
For one second, Doctor Strange in his own title, really, and then
171. Yeah. Okay.
Animal
That's-
Vegetable Mineral Help. These are my jam. Freon, this is really high grade on this one. This is from
That's
Beyond the
Hubert,
Unknown
isn't
number
it?
1.
I can't.
Yeah, it's Kubert.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
I love.
I mean,
Cuba
it's a
on all
guy
these-
in a space gun riding a fucking turtle. What more do you
But
need?
yeah, and turtles are they're fucking war beasts, truly, if you think
Yeah.
about it.
Just because this is like a $5 book. Yeah, this cost me $5. A low grade, early Green Lantern.
Nice.
Tattooed man there.
Yeah. First, what's his nuts in the title? Space Ranger in Mystery in Space.
I love that colors. They pop.
I
Yeah.
love his nuts.
And then last, just another like second to
That's a
last,
great one.
second to last Doctor
Oh.
Strange and Strange Tales. So
168.
yeah, so that's all. Nothing enormous. The guy had like
67.
yeah, he had the Dave Stevens planetary that I really wanted. The straddle and the rocket, but like
Yeah.
he wouldn't budge enough on the price for it. He had an 8.5. He was at CGC. He wanted 250, and I was trying to get him down to under 200, and he wouldn't budge for it. So
It's
But-
Dave Stevens, man. His
Just
stuff is-
badger him like Mark does.
yeah. It's fine. I mean, I like the book, but I don't love it. It wasn't nothing I needed to have. So that's the beauty of negotiating. It's like I don't care that much. Like I'll walk away. So
Somebody will buy it.
yeah,
It's not me.
I nodded. I mean, it was a weird. It's at the mall, and most of the stuff was like just modern mainstream variants that they were all selling, which is fine. It's just not my jam. So
Nah, not mine either. It's not really that exciting.
no. So it's going on tomorrow, but I'm not going back. There's nothing.
You don't have to pay to get into that, do you?
Nope. It was a free.
How many vendors were there?
They said 70, but it was more like 30, and of that, about 15 were comics.
You have to count them with one eye, then count them with your other eye.
Yeah, exactly. So, and there's a lot of like Magic, card games vendors and toy vendors and Funko stuff, and just poster vendors and people peddling their indie books that they wrote and stuff. So like,
Mhm.
there was some cool stuff, just not necessarily my jam.
Not your shit. Yeah.
But it was a 10-minute drive from my house, and it didn't cost me anything to get in there. So,
It's a decent Saturday.
yeah.
Go show.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
and
I'll wait till
none of
my-
these were really on my radar. It's just like they were good enough deals. I was like, well, okay.
Yeah. I just want that. Damn, werewolf.
Yeah, that's nice. Wow.
That's amazing. Good.
I need to start looking back on my comic shop. Like when COVID first started, that was one of the first shops I found online, and then
So
I do love was it Lone Star Comics that's technically the name of the shop?
My comic.
Shop?
Oh yeah, my comic. Yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome. When I'm on just window shopping on eBay, I regularly get reminded that you never go window shopping on my comic shop because they have the sponsored posts on there and everything's cheaper if you go to their. If you see something from them on eBay, just head over to their website. It's
that's true, Papa Wheelie. But I also have to go watch my Packers lose tomorrow. So.
So my dad is a massive UT fan, and UT played Georgia today, and it was just hilarious because my dad gets so fucking emotional. It's like, Dad, they suck every fucking year. What? But it's just like, oh my God, it's like walking on glass, having to be around a man and football. So many they turn into women basically. It's like, dude, so it's fucking so crazy.
So little bitches.
Dude, I'm just like, Dad, how can you let this shit dictate your mood so quickly?
Happens to a lot of people we know.
And it's just like, they're gonna lose. Deal with it. There's no way that they don't stand a chance.
You just described all of my relatives.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's fine. I like football. I really enjoy watching it, but
it's fun. But like, man, some people, I cannot watch it with because they get so intense, and it's like, dude, you're fucking scaring me. All right.
Well, yeah, but Papa Wheelie used to be used to that. The Bears have been made good since '85.
Donnie. See, that's me. It's like, yeah, I understand. Like, I get emotional. Like, I care about football and like I care about LSU Tigers, but I also accept the fact that they've sucked a couple last few years. And so it's just like, I just don't watch it because I know exactly what the fuck will happen. I will turn into my father. I'm not going to turn into my father. Anyways. Speaking of gladiatorial sports,
I'd much rather direct my anger at mediocre Marvel movies and shit in comics,
Yeah.
I mean, I do it. Don't get me wrong.
True.
I definitely do it.
I'd rather read capes than watch football. But I'm not saying that I wouldn't watch football because I do. But if I had to choose between the two, I would choose capes. Because your imagination's always better than reality. It just is.
Yeah, the Lions are doing well this year. It pains me to say that because I'm a Packer fan, but they've been so bad for so damn long. It's deserved.
Poor Detroit. I mean, fuck, the Pistons haven't been good for 40 fucking years.
Hell yeah, chaos. Go Packers. I mean, next year. We're screwed this year, but whatever.
Yeah, what's his face? Aaron Rodgers. Is he going to retire?
I don't know. No, he's probably coming back and playing for the Jets by the end of this year because he's on ayahuasca and that'll cure his ankle. So
I'm just telling you, he annoys the shit out of me.
I will say he wore out his welcome here. I'm kind of glad he's not in Green Bay anymore, especially when he had all his nonsense bullshit with the anti-vaxxing and stuff during COVID. But anyway, we don't have to get into that. You're not a rugby guy, Spidey?
No.
No.
I'm not even an Aussie rules guy. Because Aussie rules is more predominant down where I am. Rugby's more north.
Yeah. We're talking.
I'd rather but the only sport and even that I don't really follow greatly is the NBA, and that's pretty much it. So,
yeah, fair.
And my Hornets have not won much in a long time.
No, they just got their ass kicked last night by the Bucks. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, that's easy enough, seeing that they're champions last year. But
I'm a casual NBA guy at best. I enjoy rugby. I'll watch just because one of my old college roommates was from South Africa, so he got me into the Springboks.
They're massively into it. It's like a religion over there.
I think it's a fun game to watch. It's tougher than football by a lot, but
it's got a lot of similarities.
It does, but
to American football, just without the pads.
Yeah, without and the players don't have anywhere near as many teeth as American football players, but yeah.
Yeah, it's in it, and there's like, because over here I don't know. Don't ask me the difference because I don't follow it. But there is rugby league and there's rugby union. So there is
Yeah,
actually
I know
two
there's
different
there's
versions.
two things. I just don't know. I couldn't tell you there.
Yeah, it's but then yeah, like there's obviously the rivalry between people who follow Aussie rules, which the rugby people call it aerial ping pong, and you know, we just call, you know, rugby, like grunt ball or something like that. So
Yeah.
you know, or toothless ball or something.
How the hell did you end up a Hornets fan?
Which is kind of weird because back in the 90s when I fully got into it, I think the first thing I got related to, like I got into basketball, and then it's like everybody's like, you know, sort of everybody over here was either Bulls or Lakers.
Oh yeah,
because obviously there's no town affiliations or anything like that, so everybody just picks a team. And I'm like, I don't want to go. I want to go against the grain. And then I actually saw Larry Johnson with the Grandma Ma type ads and all that sort of stuff for Converse. And I'm like, that is actually pretty cool for what it is. And I think he just drew me in.
nice.
And so I'm just like, and I've been with Hornets ever since. Like, even with all the, you know, like Charlotte, New Orleans, you know, the flip around and all that sort of stuff. Even though Hornets were like non-existent for a tiny bit of time, you know, I sort of still stuck with that sort of side of things. So
that's cool. Yeah, I understand the orneriness and not wanting to pick the Bulls because I lived in Chicago during the Michael Jordan era, but I was like, I can't be a Jordan fan. Everyone's a Jordan fan in this damn town. So I was a Charles Barkley guy back then.
Like don't get me wrong, like because we never really got, like, the only time we would get basketball over here in that time was the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
And it would be on at like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, sort of thing, you know. So that's the only time. Because I remember watching the Suns and the Bulls finals.
Yeah.
You know, I'd stay up even though it was like a school night or whatever back then, and I'm like, this is still cool, but yeah, I'm not gonna. I love watching. It's like Golden State Warriors. I like watching Golden State Warriors play because they're a good team, but I'm not going to follow them. I'm going to just stick with my Hornets.
Yeah.
All right, dudes, this is my cue to get out of here. No, I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm not gonna go to sleep, but I'm not gonna talk to people anymore because I don't want to talk to people anymore. But I really care about y'all. Mean it.
Me too. Now go fuck off and shut up.
I just can't fucking say any more words. Yeah, I know. Thanks for having me. Yeah, y'all take care. See you around. Yeah.
It's a tremendous concert in London. Sounds like carnival music in the background.
Yeah. It's not coming from me. I don't believe in carnivals, and clowns are fucking creepy.
Reminded me of Austin Powers. So talking about carnies, like circus folk, real small, like cabbage.
I need to watch that movie.
Doesn't get quoted enough, man.
I forgot how funny that movie was.
It is so funny.
Like when you guys and all the movies you guys were talking about last night when you're on DJ's channel, I was like, God damn it, I need to watch movies again.
Yeah, that list was incredibly easy to make because you could put so many more on it. You know, just grab 20.
My hard thing was trying to figure out what happened in the last 20 years.
Hey, Katie, go to a clown con.
And movies are just always fun to talk and like on stream and stuff. People just love movies.
I fell down you fall down these like weird YouTube rabbit holes with shorts and stuff, and like somehow I ended up like watching clips all yesterday of My Cousin Vinny, and I forgot how damn funny that movie is too.
That's when I learned in my life what posi traction was.
Yeah, that's me. Like everyone learned what posi traction was from that movie.
If you didn't know, you do now.
And these two Utes.
I think though with movies though, sometimes you can get down, and I know Mark's experienced this too as well. Sometimes you can be like so sick of like the monotony or the crap that comes out in recent times. You tend to rewatch a lot of stuff that you know you'll enjoy, even though you might have seen it 10 or 15 times.
I've
You
done
just
that
like,
my whole life.
yeah, it's like, and I get that because, like, I know somebody will ask, "Oh, have you seen this movie? Have you seen it?" Even movies that have been out in the last decade, I'll be like, "No, I still haven't watched that yet." It's sort of, didn't interest me at the time, or something like that, and yet I'll go rewatch a movie I've already seen 20 times.
Massively way more preoccupied ever since doing YouTube with that free time that I used to actually make content. That's when I would watch other stuff. Like, I'm shocked that I had time to watch the new David Fincher film, because that's like I had a window to sit down and watch an R-rated drama. And typically, if the kids are out of their room or kind of doing something, I'm doing something else. But I don't know. I used to just watch everything, and I buy a lot of physical media. And if you're somebody that buys physical media, you tend to be the kind of person that likes to rewatch stuff, And that goes back to me being a kid, I think, going to Blockbuster. But we never went on Friday night because they were too busy. We'll go on Saturday. So by the time we got there, they don't have nothing. So we're stuck only getting stuff we've seen before. So we would just fall back on the same, like, get the original Tron for the 50th time, or the 40-minute long Sleepy Hollow movie for kids back then. Like,
there was something great about video stores, though, because you had a limited selection, but like, you knew you were walking out with something,
and you're choosing wisely, no matter how bad of a choice.
Yeah.
I'm really happy though with the digital media, because I like, once I'm sitting in my recliner deciding I want to watch a movie and not having to get up to go flip through my media to insert it, I can be able to do it, select it right from my recliner.
There's something great about the old VHS tape and the getting up and like changing. Yeah.
Even with like, since I've been sitting here, Monkey and Finn have ran in here and had me open the DVD case for Beverly Hills Chihuahua 3. Because I've taken like the second in Charles, and we let them go pick out movies there. Nice. Just in case the internet goes out, is what they'll tell you.
I think I was more inclined to finish movies too when I'd rented them or they had physical media. Because now it's like, it's digital. If it's like doesn't hold my attention for like 3 minutes, I'm like, I'll just switch to something else. Like, I don't give things anywhere near as much of a chance anymore.
Channel surfing is a lot different because you can, you can waste a whole lot of time trying to find something to watch now. Whole lot of time. We're switching streaming services altogether and stuff. I have
K-pop.
I'm talking about the repository of digital media, digital movies that I own.
No, I know what you're saying, Rob. I get that's.
Well, I take all the stuff I buy and I put it on digital as well. I use the codes and stuff like that and have it.
What also last night sort of made me realize is they stopped making like comedies for movie theaters for the most part. I mean, there's still one or two that'll show up, but like, you used to be able to go see sitcoms or like dumbass comedies,
rom-coms.
Yeah,
not necessarily rom-coms, but just comedies.
They used to be like just dumb as shit comedies that were in the movies all the time, like Anchorman and like anything Adam Sandler,
trilogy, Hot Tub Time Machine, the Adam Sandler flavor of the month.
Yeah,
comedies were going hard for like the teens, like really, really hard. They were on, but everything shifted away.
Dirty Jobs.
Hopefully we'll be getting back to or not getting back to, but getting into the kind of next trendy era of whatever this decade is going to be defined by. Like the first 2 years in a decade are really just like the mirror image of the decade.
Yeah.
So we're hopefully getting into like the defining themes of the 2020s here and see what we got.
I hope like more mid-budget stuff and low-budget stuff gets made, because like, it seems like for the past, like, since Marvel and like, it's got to be a $200 blockbuster with shitty CGI to get put in the theaters. And I'm like, just give me a good story and like make it weird. I'll go watch it.
I think that's why a lot of people like stick to the horror genre.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, because like so much like B, C, and D grade horror gets made that people could just binge watch like, oh, I've never heard of this one, let's just watch this one and things like that. Like, and that stuff doesn't make, that's like straight to Netflix, straight to DVD, whatever you want to sort of thing.
Even with the stuff that goes to theaters, it's just easy to make. Your budget's super low. It's always been like a staple of slasher films that have like no name actors.
And my problem is I'm just not a really big horror guy. It doesn't offend me or anything. It just doesn't interest me mostly. So
I'm glad you're not offended by horror.
well, no, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, or I'm not like scared of it, or it's not like disturbed. It's just like, it just doesn't do anything for me. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't mind, the monster horror to some degree, but I definitely don't care for the slasher genre.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose like I was a bit of both. Like, 'cause I used to be a big horror guy when I was younger. Not so much now. Like, I'll watch an occasional one. Like, I actually watched Dracula Voyage of the Demeter last night. And that was on Prime or whatever. Then I'm like, yeah, it was alright. It wasn't anything special or anything like that. But yeah, an occasional one. You know, like I like the vampire and the werewolf stuff and things like that, like the old monster movie type stuff. But you know, yeah, like the slasher stuff sort of gets a bit boring after a while. It's like once you've seen one, you've sort of seen them all almost, and you know. But some people love that shit.
Yeah, well, then Scream was great. The first Scream made fun of the genre, and then it turned into the genre.
Yeah,
it's like,
Look, it has a
and then they just continued it for another 25 seconds. Yeah.
He used the telephone.
You tell Rob, hey, you just walk up here and don't even say hey.
Hey, buddy.
Today I got like a little
Oh, yeah. Is that
Recon door?
Yeah.
nice.
Oh,
Nice.
just hold it still. It'll fuck it.
That's
There you
awesome.
I always messed him up with Gung Ho because they both had the mustache, didn't they?
They got the old dirty Sanchez going on.
Yeah. the younger Rob stash. Ooh, yeah.
And the backpack.
Nice.
And got on the boat.
Nice.
That boat came with the other one.
The boat came by itself, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. And you could buy with whichever person you wanted it to come with. Right?
Yeah, so somebody traded in their lifelong G.I. Joe collection to Dead Media a few months back, and he's just slowly been trying to get it out. And I don't mean like they're just buying one of these people. They own they have 50 Viper figures. All of it's 100% complete, every figure.
Wow.
So it's all getting individually bagged and tagged with all their accessories and stuff, and slowly just rolled out. It's super, super cool.
Now, does the boat actually float?
Yes. Yeah, and we took
It
even still has the mesh net cover that goes over it.
Oh, nice.
They wanted the mesh out, so you just pop the oars out, and you lay the mesh over it and hold it in with the oars. But yeah, it actually floats. I got the things on
Nice.
it.
Yeah, will that boat float in the water?
Mm-hmm. It's got the antenna still for it.
Oh, I thought that was like a little spear that you stab and then you can climb up with.
So if you want to stab somebody, stab away.
Well, what is this called again?
It's an antenna.
What's an antenna?
That is. So that yeah, there's the G.I. Joe movie. You want to watch the movie?
Mm-hmm.
This is the one that I had growing up. High definition. We don't do standard definition.
Why do you not do standard definition?
Because we're not basic. We don't say target, do we? What do we say?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
Who's that?
Target.
Target.
Oh, wow.
What did I say in here?
Boom, there you go. You got G.I. Joe on there.
Do you guys drive a Kia Sportage too?
No,
Can I sit up here with you?
is it a Kia? No, it's a Hyundai Santa Fe.
Can I sit up here with you?
It's
guys?
fair.
No, it was a joke that we did with him when he was little. We started getting him to say Target first, just to kind of mess with Pops. Just as funny having kids say funny things. And now Monkey only calls it Target. And it kind of just come from my best friend. He calls it Target jokingly because he's fancy.
And Daddy, see how there's a screw inside of there.
Which is funny
Yeah,
because my mum over here actually calls it Target, and that's where I got it from.
Not a screw.
Yeah.
Why is there a screw back
It's
here?
not a.
That's
That's
y'all are
what
bougie.
together. You see all the little pins and screws?
Mhm.
Yeah, there you go. It's just part of it, buddy.
Because it was a
Artist, yeah.
fancy Kmart.
Yeah.
And you just have to.
It's still a fancy Kmart.
You might break it.
Might tell Monkey to quit hitting the wall. And you want to take the tablet with you, homie? That's a terrible idea. Did you say please? Please. Thank you. Oh hell yeah, Papa Willie! You must not check my YouTube shorts. I'm opening new toys every day.
Or doing pack rips, looking for that special chase card.
Did you see that I got it?
I haven't seen one of the latest
from the
ones.
DC packs that like I got halfway through the box, got not one single chase card. I finally got one, and I'm like, all right, I got to stop for a little while. But just go back to like the last DC one.
That's probably the one, because I think you went to Star Wars for a little while, and then because you got sick of the DC ones, and
yeah, every single Star Wars pack has got foils or chromes or panoramics. Oh, this guy has a bunch of them. Here's the most recent toy pickup, Papa. Original King Kong movie Maniac. I had this when I was little, and I still have it, but I don't have the box anymore. So I'm like, I'm gonna re-buy it and keep one in the box. But yeah, it's super dope.
I think that's why a lot of people are liking the sometimes the older figures, because a lot of these newer companies are not doing the window boxing anymore.
Yeah,
and it's like, you want to be able to sort of see, especially people are like, I'm an inbox collector. I want to display it in the box. If it's got no window to see the figure, what's the bloody point? Yeah, well.
You want your mirror?
Why do you always give mirror to me at the nighttime?
Because you just asked for it.
Well, half the fun when they're back in the old days were the old blister packs, and then you look on the back and see which ones you didn't have.
Yeah.
Why can I not see it here?
Because I'm not listening. I don't want to hear it. It's loud.
Though they're trying to get a lot more. I think a lot of people like them more now because they're a lot more technically sound, like more articulation.
Oh, yeah, Papa. Yeah.
And yeah, like a lot more detail.
The toys are better now. Like they can do all sorts of better stuff, but like it doesn't matter.
I'm so partial to older toys though. And not like what I consider vintage, but just toys from my childhood. You know, they have that nostalgia bait.
That's all I would have interest. If like it's a rabbit hole I could go down, but I'm avoiding it like the plague because
I'm really lucky in the sense that I have like the majority of my toys from my childhood that I would still want, like the vast majority of them. I mean, all the stuff from like when I was like probably like 3 to 7 is gone, you know. So there's like some early Alien and Terminator and Batman Returns stuff. That stuff is gone. I do still have my custom Batman Returns figure that we painted into Dell Comics Dracula. Yeah, Pops and me sat there and he would like do custom paints on our figures. And you know that Dell Comics Dracula who's got like the purple and red costume and he can fly and stuff. Well, yeah, I still have that custom figure. And then the original X Factor suit Cyclops, the blue and white. We still have the Dr. Solar one where we repainted him when I was a kid. But most of the stuff that I still have is like the Marvel and DC stuff from my childhood. All the Marvel Legends when they first started from like Series 1 for years. I have complete sets and all the Build-A figures and all that. So I'm glad that I didn't get none of that.
Yeah, I got none of mine, which is too bad because like I had all like the Gen 1 like Kenner Star Wars stuff back in the day because I'm you know in the collector's case the and then but I also would cut away and send away for the figure, you know, like you know, all this stuff and like but none of it exists anymore. And then the GI Joes we would take, and then we'd take them apart and put them back together differently because you could. You know.
I was teaching Finn about the rubber band today.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I'd be able to like pull the leg off and snap back into place with the rubber bands and stuff.
Or you'd be playing with them too rough, and next thing you know, they just fall into numerous pieces.
Yeah, like I'd like all of mine got given away to like younger cousins or something like that. I was like, I had so many He-Man or G.I. Joe and like G1 Transformers and all that sort of stuff. It was just all just gone.
Yeah, I've rebought a lot of the stuff that really mattered to me. Like you just hear even is a bag of the original Colonial Marines from Alien. Like there's Apone, Hicks, and Drake in there, and the one predator I had growing up, the Queen. So these stay here and the kids play with them and stuff. So I rebuy stuff a lot, but like I was telling Caroline, I'm like super lucky that we have such fantastic shopping options around here with places like Dead Media. That's all just like buy, sell, trade. You know, like he doesn't carry new stock, and then we have Second and Charles, and just get lucky.
We've got a really good one here called Meepletons. It's all just vintage toys and stuff too. It's great, but I can't. I go in there and I'm like, I can't spend any money on this stuff.
It's still so fun to window shop.
It is. It is.
Yeah, we only have like really sort of one place that does. It's called Loowee Collectibles, and like the place is pretty huge. But like they've got stuff in box, out of box, in glass cabinets and things like that, but they charge an absolute premium for it over here, like everything else, of course. Like old He-Man and Transform and stuff like that. They're like you might be able to find on eBay for $20-$30, and they're selling it for like $200, and stuff like that. And it's like it's cool. It's cool for the nostalgia, but I wouldn't want to go down that rabbit hole either. Like I wanted to get the original like Spider-Man animated ones that were released in sort of like the mid to late 90s. Just the 3 1/4, I think, because I had a stack of them, but they were all taken out of their packets and that. I'd love to get them, but now it's all that like retro ones now where they all like giant size them and stuff. I thought about getting them, but I'm like, they're like $50, $60 a pop over here, and it's like that's a lot of money to spend on that sort of stuff.
And it is a dangerous rabbit hole because like I followed all these McFarlane figures and just was perfectly fine window shopping them until they did the Snyder Cut set. I'm like, I'm gonna buy that wave. I want that wave, and since I bought that Snyder Cut wave, I haven't missed an entire wave of movie figures that he's done since.
Because you buy some of the like the comic?
Yeah, very few. So it's kind of weird. Like I did I don't know. I'm not looking. It's gonna be on the couch somewhere. Look again. Move the blankets. I'm not looking for your passy. Not a thing. But I ended up getting the Crime Syndicate set because I absolutely love the Crime Syndicate. Like I just think they're just fascinating thanks to Crisis on Infinite Earths and the way they were introduced to me. And it came with Starro, which I think Starro is awesome. That was the Build-A-Figure for that. And then I got the Flashpoint ones by accident, kind of. I found an Aquaman one on clearance for $7 a long time ago and picked it up. And then I'm like, well, I guess I might as well, And they didn't come out as a wave. They're a gold label set, so they come out like once a month. So it isn't like it's a financial burden at that point. Yeah. It's drop a $20 bill or less because like the last one, Wonder Woman, since we ordered it online but did an in-store pickup, it was like $10 off. They had a special running when we looked because they're Target exclusives. And I just figured I'll just open these for fun and then I'll just put them for sale and like consignment or something, or sell them to a store here. And then I put that Cyborg together. I'm like, yo, I want to keep these. It's super cool. Well, I see the kids who just end up with them. It'll be fine.
I'm surprised you went down the Marvel Legends rabbit hole because like that's like they're massive sets, like ridiculously. There's a lot of figures.
The first few sets were only 4 figures.
Oh, well, they only are. They're only small.
After that, they switched up to like 5 figures and 6 figures to build out. And I even ran down the chases and stuff. Super fun. Like getting Sentry with the beard. Like I remember like because I was a little bit younger. Like my mom had to spot me to get the entire Giant Man wave. Like I had some money, but when it dropped, toys don't have like hard release dates like comics do. So you're just not like you're ever really prepared, And I remember when that Giant Man wave dropped. And I'm like, Mom, I'm going to need you to pick up 2 of these for me. She's like, don't you already have this one in the cart? I'm like, this one has a beard. I need
totally different. Yeah.
Different. But to find like it's like that was the first and one time like I'd walked in Walmart randomly for me and Mom just go shopping kind of thing. and they actually have like the island caps, like not the end cap, but like the square islands, and they had just pulled that wave out onto the floor, so it had been untouched.
Nice.
So I was able to like grab a wave, throw it in there. I'm like, wait a minute, and look through all of them and found one bearded sentry. I'm like, let's go. And then I'm like, I don't have enough money for this.
Oh god.
Nice.
My mom, I'm gonna need you to spot me $30.
Yeah, because now all the Marvel Legends they've gone away from the window boxes now, so a lot of people are not buying them anymore, even over here.
Also,
they apparently are going back to it because of the complaints, but it's yeah, because I was half tempted to buy like some of the Spidey ones and stuff like that, and I'm just like, eh.
Yeah, it was just a Hasbro being cheap thing. They took their two most highest selling lines, which was like the Star Wars Black Series and the Marvel Legends. And see, when I was getting Marvel Legends, this is predating Hasbro having the license for them. This is back when they were awesome. They came with comic books. They were cool.
I remember those.
They came with stands that were like themed after the character or after a scene in the book and stuff. Even
I think I still have a Wolverine one still all in package. I think somewhere floating around.
I wonder which one is it. Which one? What color?
I think the comic book's the one where he's fighting the ninjas. I think.
Yeah. So the background is literally the window ninja and the ninja sitting Indian style on it.
I think so. Yeah. I think I've still got that floating around somewhere.
Yeah. So the window box thing they went away from with Star Wars Black and Marvel Legends because those are their two highest selling lines. So by switching from window boxes, they're saving a little bit of money, but on their biggest volume product. But people weren't buying them, and it was all a lie. They weren't trying to save the environment because when the figures didn't sell, they would take like the Marvel Legends and instead of putting them in like the resealable window boxes, where you can pop the top, slide them out, display them, repackage them, and close them nicely. The box is still mint. The only thing missing is the little plastic wires that might hold them. They would take them out of those and put them into like the retro cards, which take plastic, but you have to rip them off the cardboard back to get them off. And then they would sell them for a markup. So if you wanted a window box, you couldn't take it out to display it, and you had to pay a premium for it. So they're just scamming people.
Yeah. Companies are always trying to save a buck somewhere, regardless of whether there's blowback or not. It's just like they're still selling. Like they might not be selling to the same quantity they were, but they're still selling.
And the timing was rough for them too. Like with the properties dropping associated with the figures were properties that didn't necessarily perform very well commercially. So you're trying to sell stuff that's going to be a hard sell to people that aren't your diehards, and then they can't even see the figure. So it was kind of like, ugh.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I didn't bother with the Spider-Man ones, because that was when they literally started the non-window box stuff, and I'm like, because I looked at, I think it was the Venom and Null double pack, I think it was, and I'm like, that's pretty cool, but I'm like, no window box. I'm not paying like, I think they're like $60 or something for that double pack over here. It's ridiculous. I didn't bother. I bought an odd, like the retro ones, like the giant size ones. I bought a couple of them, but don't want to go down too much of that rabbit hole. Just gets beyond the joke after a while.
I'm going to make it a short one and jump off because I'm old and tired. So.
I think I'm going to have to go look for a passy here in a second. Taylor, did you watch the Monarch show?
Not yet. No, it's on my list. I heard it's good, but I just haven't had a chance to. So.
Yeah, it was. I was. The human element is the hardest thing to get. That first Godzilla 2014, people are like, there's not enough Godzilla. Then Godzilla, the monsters, everyone's like, there's just too much monsters. And like, dude, what? Yo, these are kaiju movies, people. Yeah. But they actually, after because they dropped 2 episodes simultaneously. So after 2 episodes, I found myself absolutely like
nice
invested in these.
Apple's usually pretty good with their shows. Like whoever's in charge over there.
Bro, I binged watched a season and a half of Ted Lasso for the first time.
Yeah, like
yo,
Oh,
that
my
is
cynical ass wanted to
so
hate
good.
that show, but it is so good.
It's impossible. Like
Yeah.
it's the unconquerable spirit of just positivity. Like you just
And what like Silo was good there for the old sci-fi.
and that's what Austin and a couple people told me
Yeah,
to
so
check
is
out. And I'd never
Severance.
heard of it, but Rebecca Ferguson's the star of that, and I absolutely love Rebecca Ferguson.
It was based on it was based on a novel called Wool, a series of novels called Wool.
I'm gonna go hard on Apple TV for a
Yeah.
while. I'm gonna burn through Ted Lasso, check out Silo and Foundation because I've been wanting to watch Isaac's Foundation since they announced it 2 years ago.
I recommend Severance as well.
Severance.
Yeah, it's a sci-fi thing where people at work and their home lives are literally separated, and they don't remember when they leave the office what goes on at the other place.
Wow,
It's a pretty interesting show. So
sounds close to real life for some people.
yeah. But all right, guys, have a good night, everybody.
You too, bud.
Kisses.
Thanks for jumping on, Taylor.
See ya.
Yeah. When does it stop though? When it comes to the streaming services, it gets a bit beyond a joke sometimes. Once you got 1, then you got 2, then you got 5, and you got 10, and it's.
Well, it's the classic thing. Like by the time you have them all, you're paying as much as you did for cable. But you're not. You're not even near it because like cable. I don't know how it was on the bottom of the earth down there, but over here, like a decent cable package, you're looking at like $150 or better. Like to get some decent channels.
Pretty much about about the same.
I don't know, but you paying like what like $10? Like this is no ads. Like $10 for Hulu, $10 for Apple, $15 for Max, $15 for Flix. Like you're up to $40-$50. That's like nowhere near comparable when you get so much better content.
Yeah, it's because what have we got at the moment? We've got Netflix, got Disney Plus, got Amazon Prime. We have Binge, which Binge is I think the Australian version of like it gets some Hulu stuff. And a few other bits and pieces, but yeah, it just like you're 50, 60, $70 a month every month.
It's just like Papa said, and some of them are combining now. Like Disney and Hulu are looking to come together like butt cheeks, and there's like deals that you get for a lot of them based off like your service provider. Some of them are just built in free with cell phone services and stuff like that. And Apple, I waited to fire up an account because I was waiting till the day before Monarch started because that's what really pushed me to finally get one. Yeah, HBO and Max were always together, but merging Discovery in there with them, I don't know if Discovery had a secondary. So HBO bought Cinemax back in like 2009. But then when they merged with Discovery, they brought all of Discovery stuff like Travel Channel, I think True TV, Discovery Channel. So Max is massive now. Like it is so much fun. Like just to get outside of movies and HBO, there's great content.
Yeah, so we don't get unless you go the VPN route. We don't get that over here. The only sort of worldwide standardized stuff we get is as I said, like we got Binge, which we get a little bit of the Hulu stuff and a little bit of the HBO stuff on that.
Y'all get some weird stuff. Well, it might not be you, but I noticed that foreign Disney Plus gets some weird stuff on it, like that we wouldn't assume to be on a Disney platform.
Oh yeah, it gets a little bit like that. Like we get a lot of international stuff. A lot of the I've noticed like a lot of our streaming services now are filling up with a lot of the like Indian content, like all the Bollywood stuff and all that sort of stuff. And it's like it's cool for what it is. If you're into that, I'm not into it, but I wouldn't mind a little bit more of the Asian sort of content and stuff because I love my anime, I love my old martial art movies and and all that sort of stuff and ninja movies and things.
We were
get a little bit, but
talking some kung fu flicks last night. Our base internet is 102. That's insane. Well, I think that's about right because I have a redonkulous internet package here too, and I think it's like $99.99. But I opted for an internet package that could power like 10 times beyond my means, you know. Just it wasn't worth not doing it.
Yeah.
And I know with Pops, with my stepmom, they have to have a redonkulous internet speed. Yes. And it's not even just the high speed, it's the high speed plus with like all that extra bandwidth or whatever.
Yeah, some of them are like obviously like Beck has Crunchyroll, which we use a lot. Yeah, like you can get a lot of content. Like you can get a lot of the like the Hong Kong and the Japanese like movies and Korean movies and stuff like that. Like on a lot of the streaming services now, because a lot of them have broadened their horizons a lot. Like even like Netflix and even like Disney Plus and stuff like that are actually playing a lot of that stuff now.
I wonder if we'll see like a rise in the amount of foreign stuff. And I mentioned this a few weeks back at Weeks In, if we'll see like a rise of like foreign films and stuff, because Hollywood shut down for like a good 9 months.
Yeah.
So like we're gonna run into that time gap where they're gonna need to be putting new something just to kind of fish for subscribers and stuff like that. So I wonder if they'll kind of add some stuff that's foreign made stuff, which wouldn't have happened otherwise.
Because you've watched a lot of the like Japanese kaiju movies and stuff like that, obviously being a big fan, a lot of the originals and things like that. So it'd be nice to sort of see some of the older stuff being brought back to some of these streaming services, like whether it be the like the Kurosawa stuff or the old like the real original sort of like Godzilla and
all that's on Max,
sort of Mothra and all that sort of stuff.
Max keeps Godzilla stuff on there. Like Finn watches. Like you're lucky if you walk through the house and don't hear like Japanese people talking, because Finn just sits there. Like it's dubbed, it's not dubbed, it's subtitled in English, but it's not dubbed. So all the stuff on there is like original.
Yeah. So we don't get Max over here, so that's probably
that's
why
what I'm trying to tell you though. Max has got like the price point for Max is an undersell. Like it is so good.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we can get get something like, cause I don't want to be doing like
y'all have Tubi.
Tubi
is Tubi. It's called Tubi. It's a free streaming service, 100% free. And back when me and Kyle got in our first house together when we got married, we'd call it the smut channel, because you'd go there and it was all like direct to video stuff from a decade ago, plus I Love New York and The Flavor of Love and all the VH1 dating shows from a decade ago. But it was free. So when we were just getting settled, like we had that. And we would just have fun just rewatching all these dating shows and cheap movies. And they would have like 3 or 4 movies out of like hundreds of stuff on this service. And 3 or 4 movies that were like respectable films kind of thing. But now when you go there, they've got stuff that's like brand new somehow, like, and it's 100% legit. It's nothing like piratey or nothing. So they have an amazing assortment. But they'll also have like the original Power Rangers, like the Japanese stuff.
Okay.
They have like all the original Godzilla stuff, Transformers cartoon, Generation 1 stuff, all kinds.
Yeah, because that's the other thing is that I don't like the restrictions they put on international stuff, because I've said like Netflix, for argument's sake, like if America gets 100% of Netflix content, like Canada might get 80%, UK might get 60%, we might get 40%. Like you don't actually get everything all around the world, which is, I think,
from what I understood, everywhere gets different stuff.
You still having fun scanning all your books, John?
Yeah.
Have you still got the sound on?
No, I'm actually doing JP's method where I look up the series and just check all the
just click on them all.
I was gonna say, you haven't gotten out of that chair since this morning, have you? Hasn't moved.
I'm gonna have a bad back tomorrow. I'm just gonna say.
Got a coffee IV going at this point.
Yeah. Actually, I've moved on to alcohol, so let's see how much longer I last.
And Remy Q is in the building.
Wait a second. Where's the shoe?
What's up, baby?
How you doing?
Good.
Make sure everything is get on here.
It's like the voice of a generation.
How's everybody
How
doing tonight?
many boxes have you gone through, John?
Let's see. I did all of the Uncanny run, which is 3 short boxes, and then a box and a half of slabs for that. And then I've done my Avengers run, and I'm almost done with 4, and that's another box and a half, I think, between slabs and regular.
Well, you've done pretty well because, like, as I said to you, like in the chat this morning when I got up at that was 3:30 in the morning, by the way. I literally for like 2-3 weeks of Christmas holidays, that's all I did was jump on as many open live streams as I could, and I'd just grab a box and grab my phone and would just be scanning and putting them in to get it done.
That's basically I was trying to pick and choose the stuff that I know is really well organized in my collection. That's like everything's in order, everything's where it should be. That way I can just kind of like plow through a little bit. It's the boxes that are like the Batman boxes in my collection where it's like, okay, this one's, Dark Knight Returns, but then there's some Batman and then there's some detective, and it's like a mix because it's just I don't have like a huge run of detective or anything like that. I've just got certain storylines. I've got Batman Year One, which is technically certain issues in the middle of the Batman run, and it's not its own thing, So that one's a little harder.
You see this goofy man in the green shirt right here?
Me?
His name is John. Yeah,
you're wearing a green shirt too, Juke.
I'm the one talking. She walked up and asked if I could help her draw on her Supergirl. Hold it up and show it on.
Ooh, now you're talking. Now there it is. The Albert Loves Comics journal.
He said that to us.
So cool.
Yeah, that's her drawing book.
That's the perfect book for you.
Mm-hmm.
16, 17.
Yeah, I think the only thing that you've probably got over me, John, is like I didn't bother with all the grades and things like that. I just wanted to get it in the collection,
totally,
and make sure it was there. But the other thing is obviously, like it was mentioned in the chat this morning. Once you're up to date, make sure you stay up to date.
Right.
That's the hard thing, because what I'm doing now is like I'll literally any books I'll get, whether they're old, new, or whatever, I'm literally just scanning and putting in a box. So I'm like so unorganized now. Probably 20 out of the 30 boxes I have are all alphabetized in a numerical order, but all the the new ones, whether as I said, whether it be like just recent acquisitions, are literally like it's just a mixed. They're all mixed boxes.
I know that Magic Lasso said that he likes inputting, and so he'll wait a couple of weeks at a time and do a big clump of them together because he enjoys the experience.
It just depends on what you're doing. If the modern ones are easy enough because you're scanning, but the old ones are on the phone app. It's a little more difficult.
I was gonna say I'm not even scanning at this point. I'm just looking at like the Mighty Thor run and just doing like
that's true. If you have a whole run, it's really easy to be able to get there and go click, click, click. Especially if okay, I'll have all the directs, or I have just this.
Exactly.
It gets super easy. But for me, I'm not a big fan of inputting things with my phone very often.
Sure.
So I use my phone like when I'm out in the garage and I need to move things around or I'm updating stuff. But for the most part, I also pay for the web browser version.
Right.
So I usually bring things in here and I will input stuff here from the browser with a real keyboard and other stuff, and then take it out there and put it away. And maybe then, if I have to log a box or something, great. But
sure. So I just did the entire Jason Aaron Mighty Thor run, which I had the full run, but I just wanted to make sure I had the right covers selected. So I was just doing it like a checklist and boom, 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 and then drop all 30 issues in one go.
If you have a run, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, I remember I had a problem with that with the She-Hulk run, the first She-Hulk run.
The Savage or the Sensational?
The Savage. When I was inputting it, it got, for some reason, there was a big block of books where they only had the direct versions showing up.
Curious.
And the newsstand versions weren't showing up. So it was only the B covers were showing up. And I had to send them I actually sent them a ticket. I said, hey, from the app, all I see is just this. The B only option is B, no A. And they went back and 2 days later they're okay. Here you go. It's all fixed now. You can go ahead and do it. But as long as you aren't doing like really weird, very recent esoteric books, I very seldom find things that aren't in there.
Sure.
It's only when you start getting to some of the esoteric stuff, but then I'll submit it myself and eventually it'll show up.
Fingers crossed.
Well, you can submit it because you can enter it in even though they don't have a record of it on their side, so you can enter it in manually. And then you can submit that manual entry to the core to alert them that, hey, here's a book that I didn't see and stuff. And then they'll eventually they'll review it and update it and install it to the core. It's not a big deal that it's not connected to the core unless you're trying to get value on it.
Right.
If you're just logging it for inventory, then it doesn't matter whatsoever.
Yeah, I have to do that a lot. You can put your own picture too.
Yeah. And I do that with like all my all the commissions I have. I'll upload those, or a lot of the sign books. I take pictures of them and I upload those, and then I use those pictures inside for a while. The thing that's been really kind of annoying for me lately is since they added the new, if it's slabbed, that put that fake frame around the book cover, is I had been taking pictures of all my signed books and uploading them inside the CGC case or whatnot. So now what happens is I'll find them periodically where it'll have this blue, they automatically assign the blue universal, and then inside of it is the yellow CGC signature slab. And I have to go back and recrop the photo around just a comic and eliminate these are things because they updated and improved quality of life. Because before you couldn't tell if something was slabbed. There was no way to tell if it was a signature series or not. You couldn't tell what page quality was there or not. That stuff wasn't originally included in there. So they keep adding stuff, and they're the one thing I will say that's probably the great thing. My experience with this app is the fact that they are actively, constantly doing updates, fixing things, addressing customer issues, finding ways to improve. It's it's not just something that somebody created and is resting on their laurels, collecting money off of. Right?
There's a lot of money in comics.
Yeah, which is why I have no problem with the fact that they're raising the price slightly on it next year, because they are doing work and constantly updating it and everything else. So it doesn't.
I'll be dropping the CLZ altogether here soon.
Okay.
Done. I got that. I'm switching to Overstreet.
Well, yeah, you get that
lifetime gold membership, so it doesn't matter which one works functionally better or more convenient. The only thing I do with CLZ at this point is keep up with the missing Hulk issues and whatever else I might be trying to finish at the time. So like with Transformers, which I'm only 3 issues away from completing now. Like I just would keep that current and Hulk current. Everything else is just too tedious to add books every week when I pick them up and stuff, because like, nope. And if it was just that, it'd be different, but it's not that. You hit some of these books like Detective or Action, and you have to sit there and stream through literally 1,000. You're saying no, but the answer is yes, because I do it. That's why I stopped doing it.
If you scan it and it doesn't initially register it, remove that book and then rescan it again. Sometimes it doesn't scan the whole barcode.
Yeah, I've
or switch between, because that happens to me too. Or switch between auto and X, even if you're on the extra, the EXT button. If you switch between them, because I hate it when it does that too. But you do have to just try to rescan it, and it's. And
I don't. I hardly ever have any problems. But your experience is made different. Yeah. Sure enough.
Yeah, but it comes back around though, where you don't have to do 1,000 issues of Action Comics.
I just really love the capabilities of when it comes to sorting to find various things, whether it be, oh hey, here's a con that's coming up. Here's the guys who I might want to get signature. What books do I have? This person was a creator content on that I can go that I can might want to go through. Okay, boom, here they are. Or like coming up here where I've got the 2023 graded books that top 10 graded books that came into the collection. I can sort by entered into the system in 2023. Just show me the slab books. Sort, and now I can go through and I think it makes it really easy to be able to parse your database. Although, I mean, you could do it in spreadsheets too.
Yeah, I've never gone that route. I've just done like it's just the one collection kind of thing.
I like to play with it. I don't care so much about some of the statistics that the analytics that they give you and stuff. And I really do kind of miss the previous, what was it? Go Collect pricing integration was a little bit better than the cover price integration. Mostly just because Cover Price hasn't figured out how to extrapolate pricing on a particular grade based on other grades. They don't factor it in there. They only look at.
It hasn't been sold in the last 90 days, just a whole.
Yeah, they just look at, oh, so this 6.5 is only worth $100, but this 4.0 is worth $3,000. It's like, oh, come on. Yeah, they don't know how to extrapolate the way that Go Collect had a very good system of not only if there was few options but adjusting the surrounding grades based on other sales and stuff. So hopefully one day Cover Price gets there, but that's not the main reason I want the app. So
I don't pay the extra for it, but sometimes I see the price. So supposedly if you're grandfathered in to the one price, not the monthly price, you're not supposed to see prices, but sometimes I do.
My understanding is that when they did the update, did the switch over, any pricing and stuff that you had in there would transfer over to my prices, because there's two different pricing columns. There's a Cover Price column, and then there's a My Price column that you can enter in what you say it is. So like when I do some of these Golden Age books and it says no price found, but I know what I paid or what's going on, I can put in a value. So everything that was supposedly used to be entered was supposed to be entered into, I think it's supposed to switch over to the My Price column previously. So I don't know if that might be something that you're seeing or not.
I know the people who had because they had that thing early on where you could just buy a one-time lifetime membership to
that's what I have.
Yeah, but
that's what
everybody
I have. We missed whatever new things came out.
Yeah.
But I don't need it. I just scan my books in with no order and put them in the box, and that's it. And so the order that they're in is the order that I scanned them in. So I'd probably have the worst time with comic gories because it's just a bunch of random comics in every box.
Only if you have to instantly pull stuff. But if your boxes are numbered, at least you can, and they're cross-referenced in the app, at least you can find everything.
Yeah.
Whatever you can find in 30 seconds if you have to go on comic gories.
Yeah.
See, I lose at that game type thing anyways because everything's in the garage and not here where I can get to it easily.
Well, you just slip JP a tenner and hopefully it gives you the categories above time.
But this point, people get ready. They go through their collection and they go, oh, if there's colored covers, this one I can have this one ready. So.
Or this one can do for multiple sort of things. Yeah.
It's that's where Durs's thing is. At least is helpful to me on Sundays when he'll send me the category or whatever, then I can decide. Okay, usually I bring slabs just because it's easier for me to parse through slabs than it is to parse through boxes, as many boxes and boxes of raw books. Going through 1,000 books instead of 12,000 books is a lot easier.
Wow. Yeah, that would make sense.
So how did Tony do? I didn't make it to the end, John. Did he eat the number 10 and 11?
I didn't get to the end either. I moved. I went and hung out with JP and worked on my Avengers run.
Well, we should go check and pretend we were there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll lie and tell him he did a great job.
Yeah.
And John purposefully doesn't go into the lives just to spite Tony anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Is Finn asleep?
I found it nowhere.
It's nowhere. Then that means it's gone, right? If it's nowhere, it's gotta
Yeah,
be somewhere, right?
I wish I could memorize all my. I used to be good at memorizing the books, like
Well,
especially
baby,
like
the
if you're
only
going
way
after a
to
run and you got
to
small
walk
amount of
away
books
from
that you
what you
need, it's I only need like 4 books for this run. It's fine, but
Yeah.
if you start diving into other runs or other keys or whatever like that, you're like, do I have this? I'm not 100% sure, and that's why I found like I do have quite a few doubles now of things that I just need to get rid of.
We've all been there.
And
That's
I
mostly
absolutely
why.
hate. I
That's
hate
mostly
doubles.
That's mostly why I even bother with CLV, just because I know I want a few things, and if they're scanned in, then I could, while I'm at the comic store, I can check and be like, okay, I got this Ghost Rider comic already. I don't need, a fourth
Yeah, you
one.
can go through the box and you go, I
Yeah.
know I have the first 35 issues. I'll just go to 35 and then go, okay, now I know I haven't got any past this. So you
Yeah, then
sort
it
of
gets
save a bit of time
tougher though
as well.
when they get spotty after that. I also wish that I was maybe a little bit better about choosing whether it was direct edition or newsstand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
because
give a
sometimes,
crap about that.
yeah, I don't care either really, but sometimes they're in the dollar bin. I know I have it. I go, well, that's a newsstand. I would pay $1 for it. You know what I mean? Like, and now I'm never sure. I'm pretty sure I own all my books are like any kind of book I search for, and they're mostly dollar issues or cheaper, right? But I feel like I have like two or three sets of direct edition and newsstand of like some crappy books like Executioner Song or whatever, because I just keep grabbing them out of the dollar bin.
I scanned all those in today.
Yeah, did you have polybag and unpolybagged?
I had one poly bag left. I don't know that I have many of the poly bags anymore.
Yeah.
That's right, because the Executioner songs, they came with cards, didn't they?
Yeah, they came with cards.
I think I actually had a few. I'd all out of the poly bags, of course. Don't know where the cards are, but I think I have a few of those issues because that was scanning. That was going over Uncanny, normal, like the '90s X-Men, X Factor, and X Force. I think
it went across. It was like 14 parts and went across like 6 or 7 books. So.
Yeah,
both X-Men books.
Yeah, I remember because that was almost around the same time that Midnight Suns was going on, and they all came with the posters, and they all made like one big poster.
That. Yeah,
I don't know what happened to my posters, but I think the only book I didn't pick up, I think, was Darkhold #1. I think I got Morbius and I got Night Stalkers and I got the Ghost Rider ones and stuff like that, but I don't think I ever got a copy of Darkhold one.
Yeah, I think I have those. I don't think I have the posters though.
Yeah, because they were polybagged with the posters as well.
Yeah, I remember that now, but I don't think the ones I have. I should check. I mean, those stupid books for whatever reason they're not super expensive, but they used to be dollar books. But since Midnight Suns has been a rumor for a good year or two now, they're all like $5-10 now.
Yeah, and also they brought out a Midnight Suns video game as well.
Yeah.
So that made it rise a little bit. I know that, like, what is it, Ghost Rider 28 or whatever I think it was like the first appearance of the Midnight Suns. That book heated up for quite a minute.
Yeah.
Because I think I have nearly an entire run of that second volume Ghost Rider already. I think I'm only missing maybe a handful of books at most. I really need to chase them down.
Well, they get really rare at the end. The last 20 or so.
The last issue
are very
is
hard to
actually
find.
the hardest to find. It's actually quite a rare book to find the last issue.
Yeah, they're as low as those Spawn low print count. They're like under 2,000, some of those last Ghost Riders volume 2s. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 93 or 94 or something like that, I think was the number of the last issue.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of which, I can check my CLZ app and see how many I need. Let's have a look. Where is it? Ghost Rider. Come on, where are you?
Ooh, I got.
Volume
don't know if they
2.
recognize. Do they recognize Australian Halo slabs in CLZ?
I'm not sure, actually, to be perfectly honest.
That's
Fair enough.
that's sort of a cool book to have as a Halo slab, though.
Yeah, right. I
It's
think
not one. When you go to enter it as a graded book, it's not one of the default options, but you can manually type in Halo, and then it becomes an option for you in the future on your drop downs.
I mean, it's the only one I got, so I don't know that I need it in the future, but
That's why you would have got that off Simon.
I did. I got it from Simple Simon as a give. I win all his giveaways. I got the Thor statue right there.
Because actually, I don't
that's
think
right. You won the Thor statue. I remember that.
Now I got the Doctor Doom to go with it.
I don't think that EGS was one of theirs either, but it's on mine now as a drop down because I can select it. So
let's see. What's that? 5, 6. Yeah, I didn't need 6
did you ever
issues.
find the correct tab to enter in your or field to enter in your signatures there, John?
Say it again. Sorry.
Did you ever find the correct field for entering your signatures?
I didn't. I mean, if it's a signature series, I have found obviously the way to choose the slab color,
so
and whatever.
If when you're editing a book, right, and you go to that value tab.
Okay, hold on. Let me finish this one I'm doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Pick Halo and then add to collection. Sorry, I'm like slowing the whole thing down here.
We're all waiting on you. Don't worry about it.
I know, right?
Hey, Mark, did you see the one I sent you? Picture I sent you
recently?
Yeah, today, this evening. So
No.
just a new arrival.
I'm on the wrong Instagram. Hold on, that's why I didn't see it.
Okay, so one of my Thor books was signed. It was a raw, and I didn't mention it. So if I go in to my collection,
go to that book.
Go to that book. Okay, got it.
Then go to the edit, and then go to the value tab.
Okay.
And you have, as you're looking down the left-hand side, there's raw, slabbed. There's the grade range, the grading company, the label type, custom label, grader's notes, signed by, and then there's an add button.
Oh, I got to scroll down. Okay, wait. No, wait. Signed by, then add. Okay, there it is. So I was just writing it in the notes box directly above that.
Yeah, so there's a sign. This allows you in this field, you can enter multiple people or individual, or come back and add them, whatever, and they'll all display in there.
Will it know any of these people, or I just manually type whatever name I want in there?
It may know some initially, but most of them you may have to add them the first time. So when you click add, there's a search from the list, or you can go hit new signed by, and then it'll have you enter in their name, and then they'll be available then to select. And then you can see how many people you can then use that to search by books. Like if you ever later on want to, how many books do I have signed by Jim Lee?
This is a Scotty Young one. I think I've got a bunch of his signatures.
Yeah. So once you enter him in once, he'll then be on the list for you to be able to just select as a check mark box to add. So like, as I'm looking at mine, like I can see like just in the A section, I'm like, oh, Amanda Connor. I have 21 books signed by Amanda Connor.
There you go. I'm scared. I'm almost to my Strange Academy covers, and that's gonna take a better part of a week. I got a lot of those books.
They all have barcodes, so
yeah, you will find some of the modern books when you scan some of the variants.
But they're all like most of them are slabs. I got to go in and enter each slab code.
Oh, but that's true. But you can for entering purposes, you can scan them. All barcode and then go in.
I'm gonna do each one right the first time.
All right.
Rob says, "Good luck with that."
No, whatever makes you happy. It's your you're doing.
This is what makes me happy for sure.
Yes. Again, the difference is I will go and do all that data entry, but I do it on the browser because I can't.
Okay.
I can't do the keyboard, the phone keyboard for extended amounts of data because of my disability in my hand.
Sure.
Sometimes you can get troubles with some of the variant scanning sometimes it'll pop up with that drop box. It'll say, "Oh, it's one of 50 different issues," or something like that. Especially if there's a lot of variants. But I think Rob said it earlier. You just sort of delete that search and try and rescan it, and quite often it will just pick it up again.
Yeah, that makes sense. Still going. All right. Tales to. Oh, here's a Hulk book for Mark. Ooh.
Oh,
100.
Yep.
Banger.
So
man, they're not-
you already started to pay for it, right, John? What is it now? $3 a month or something? $2?
Yeah, it's something like that. I think it's a little less than that because the price goes up in January.
Oh, what if you bought the whole year?
It's $1.99, isn't it, a month at the moment? Which is
exactly.
It's about right $3 for me or something.
It used to be an arm's reach, but I put another shelf in here.
We did lose Remy. Where did Remy? Remy must have lost internet connection. You're muted, Rob, unless you're talking to the missus. Oh, Mark.
Sorry. Yeah, so if you that's why I pay for the annual rate. It's discounted to begin with. And then if you pay for the annual, like if you paid for an annual subscription today, you're at the older rates. You're not paying the new price increase until you come up for your anniversary renewal a year from now.
And that's what it's going to be a year for me for right now. I'll get the next year at this rate.
What's it going up to?
$19 a year, I think it is.
Oh, okay.
Strange Academy slabs.
For the annual subscription, I think. I don't know.
Here we go.
It's 94 issues, Lady F.
You missed it, but for a solid 1 minute, I was able to nerd out with Taylor Winder on some Ted Lasso.
There it is.
This it's pretty much indescribable how good that show is. There's not another show like it that exists.
Well said.
Which show?
Ted Lasso.
What? Oh yeah, I need to watch that.
Like I thought the same thing. Like, oh yeah, I'll get around to watching it. And the only reason I even know it exists is because John doing the Halloween thing. Like I never hear people talking about it. It's not one that people in my circle, like in the real world, that they watch it or anything. And I don't have. I'm a diehard Samsung customer, so I didn't have Apple TV. And until the Monarch was announced, that I even start actively looking for Apple TV stuff. Sure. And I told John then, I'm like, I'm going to dive into Ted Lasso. Like just seeing your excitement for it's got me curious about it. And I like Jason Sudeikis enough, and had no clue. Since talking to you about it, just I think talking in front of my phone, I started getting little reels or clips from it and thought I had an idea, but just absolutely every single episode almost. Like I killed a whole season and a half yesterday. Just
I love it.
And I think every single episode is memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get on that too.
It's got a lot of great things to say, and I think it's certainly in the realm of mental health. It's got a ton of big thoughts on how we deal with these things, how we examine these things, how we take ownership for our own foibles and flaws, and I think that there's a lot of good discussions around personal responsibility that are happening here.
And I saw the dart scene on Instagram and thought like this must be like a season finale kind of thing or something. Nope, just a random episode, and that's like there's moments like that like every 2 episodes at least kind of thing.
Sure.
And I had no clue what the show, like what its tone or vibe was going to be, and I watched the first episode thinking it's just a kind of whimsical, witty, very smart written comedy, and then you get to the end of the first episode when he makes the phone call back home. And I'm like, yo, what just happened? Like, I went into this blind, and like I'm like all flying high up here, and then all of a sudden I just get kicked in the stomach. I'm like, yo, that just got so real so fast.
And I think the first season tricks you into thinking it's going to be like a major league kind of plot with the horrible boss who's just trying to run the team to the ground. And they flipped the script on that pretty early and decided it's not what the story's about. It's about 2 people both dealing with divorce from very different perspectives and how that is impacting all levels of their lives and the ways in which divorce can be just completely like a bomb
They
going
were the
on.
yin and the yang. One wanted the other person to be hurt, and the other person didn't want anything but like we're separating because I need you to be happy, and
Right.
I'll let that whole scene, dude. I teared up like an idiot when he's like, I told myself I'd never quit at nothing. She's like, you're not quitting, you're just allowing me to live. I'm like, oh my god,
Right. It's so powerful. Yeah.
It was
Or
so rough.
I think it's the end of season 1 when she confesses to him like what she's been doing, what Rebecca's been doing to him all along, and he's just
I forgive you.
I forgive you, right? It's like, and then she goes and tells that to Higgins, and Higgins is like, yeah, what a jerk, he forgave you.
Well, with his soul patch, or what did he call it?
His Van Dyke.
His Van Dyke.
So good.
How's your wife taking it? Oh, she absolutely hates looking at me right now. She can't stand me.
So good. Yeah, there's so many great characters.
Playing the bass when she came on.
Yeah. I think it's a very clever show that I think allows the characters each to have their own arcs. I think season 3 is probably my least favorite, but on rewatching it, I still think it still keeps the consistency going. I think they were trying to give characters room to breathe, and they did the flaw of trying to introduce, I think, too many new characters. But in the end, I think once you get to the scene, they have a game in the Netherlands, and that episode is when it like turns a corner, and then it's just phenomenal the rest of the way.
Was that season 3 you said?
Yeah, season 3 is the final season.
I got that. Well, possibly it's the most recent one, right? Like,
yeah,
so I did just the smallest bit of homework, and I saw the actor who plays what's the third coach's name? Yeah, Nate.
Nate,
which
the great,
was hilarious. He was so used to everyone ignoring him in that first season. He's like, Nate, you talking to me? Well, let's just assume until we hire another Nate that you're my default, okay?
Right. So good. Well, and his emotional baggage is really great all through.
Yeah. But yeah, he put up a tease on his X account, teasing a 4th season, the same way he accidentally spoiled a 3rd season was coming a year ago, and he did it 1 year to the date.
That's funny. I know that Sudeikis basically was like, no, I wanted this to be 3 seasons, and I had a very specific story I wanted to tell with this, and I don't know of anything that's going to necessarily have to go after it. So at least for him, Sudeikis felt pretty strongly that this was like it. But that doesn't mean that he won't have an idea or want to come around to something later on. And if you get to the end and you're like craving more, the guy that plays Roy has another series that he's writing on Apple called Shrinking, with Harrison Ford playing a psychologist. That's hilarious. It's Jason Segel and Harrison Ford together as psychologists, and Siegel's character lost his wife a year ago and has been in an absolute spiral, and he's just finally coming up for air in his life. But it's produced by Bill Lawrence, who did Scrubs and Ted Lasso, and it's written by the guy who did Roy Kent, and he's been writing both shows. And dude, Harrison Ford
I cheered out loud like at 2 a.m. with everyone asleep, like freaking Roy, man.
Yeah, he's so great. And Harrison Ford is phenomenal. He's got great comic timing. He's really well used on Shrinking. So if you want to check out another show on Apple TV, it's a great one.
The list continues.
But it's just got 1 season. So that one's only got, I think, 10 or 12 episodes, and you'll be done.
Yeah. Juno Temple is delightful.
Yes. I agree.
Good stuff. I didn't realize how small that platform is either. That Apple TV is tiny. It's minuscule.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been anything on Apple TV that's really sort of gone, I'm going to go and get a subscription.
And I think that's why shows like Lasso and Shrinking or whatever are not getting talked about as much, like Mark was saying, because I think it's a platform that either you're fully in on already, or you're not going to plop down the money because there's so many platforms to be in on, right?
And even if you want to check it out, you go sign up, they give you 3 months free, no matter who you are. Just you get 3 free months. So I don't have to pay for it till after Monarch's over. So if I can binge these other shows in time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
which is quite long for a free trial, because it's usually like you get a week or 2 weeks, and that's usually the free trial is
3 months.
It started with us when we bought because we needed new phones for me and my wife, and the girls were going to get our old phones, so we got iPhones, and it came with a year of Apple TV for free or something.
Do you watch it with your kids?
Now I've got teenagers, but yeah, we've watched the whole series with them a few times. There's one episode where Keely's talking about masturbation. That's a trickier one to watch. But all the other ones,
Roy has his niece there.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Her mom said she can't play with electronics.
Yeah. So that one's that's a tricky one, but most of the other ones, there's little awkward things here and there, but no like extensive like deep dive moments.
The language is just a little rough, and
it's intense language all the way through for sure.
The hooligans, the local hooligans, I swear to God.
Oh yeah, at the pub, yeah, for sure.
It's a fantastic show, though.
No, I'm so glad you're getting into it and enjoying it. If you want to. If you need me on at week's end at some point talking about it, you let me know. when you get to the end and you finished it, let me know.
Yeah. Have you plan on diving into the Monarch show?
Which one? I don't know. I'm remembering which one this one is.
That's the new Monarch Legacy of Monsters with Kurt Russell and his son Wyatt Russell. It's the Godzilla thing.
Okay, I've seen the trailer, but I haven't deep dived on it. I haven't tried it out yet. Is it any good or?
Yeah, it was surprisingly good. Surprisingly really good. Like,
is it built on all the monster ones they've been doing up so far? The Kong, King of the Monsters and stuff.
So it's that movie universe, and it takes place after the first Godzilla movie. So the one from 2016 or whatever, where had Aaron Johnson in it and Elizabeth Olsen. It takes place after that. So it's like the world responding to that. But what's cool about it is doing a dual story, like back to the flashback into the earliest days of Monarch, telling a dual plot, very Tom Kingish. And Kurt Russell is playing his character in 2014, which that's modern time for this show, is 2014. Right. And then Wyatt Russell, his son, is playing him in the flashback. So him and his son are playing the same character in the show, it's actually really dope.
Yeah. I mean, Wyatt's pretty good. I've seen Wyatt in something I can't remember, but I thought he was pretty talented.
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
22 Jump Street.
Actually, both. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he looks a lot like his dad. But it's actually got a really good story that's got me hooked already. And the budget on this thing is, I can't even imagine what it is. Then again, most people budget better than some of the bigger companies. They just dump money into stuff and you get crap products. Weird how that happens.
So the shows on Apple TV, are they like Netflix where they're actually somehow involved in the production side of things, or not?
They're not. Dude, Ted Lasso is a Warner Brothers show.
Okay.
The Apple TV is just licensing stuff, I believe.
So it's just a platform to put it on, yeah.
Yeah, but like every single episode of Ted Lasso starts with a Warner Brother for whatever. So it's Legendary Pictures that does Godzilla. It's a Legendary Monsterverse. So I don't know. I'm sure Apple had to invest in it to get it on their platform, or they would have put it somewhere else, kind of thing. You know, they don't have their own platform. Without Apple, who knows if it would have happened, kind of thing. I don't know.
Rob, that was the perfect time to teach me that gimmick, because so many of these books I've got for Strange Academy have Scotty's signature on it. So I'm just doing like apply Scotty's signature. Signature. I've got here the next one, same way. I've got another Scotty signature, issue 1. So thank you, sir.
No worries.
Spidey, have you talked any of the announcements? Steven Yeun Sentry or Pedro Pascal, Mr. Fantastic?
None of that sort of stuff, no. No, definitely. I'm actually quite. I'm always behind in announcements. You're always on top of that a lot more than what I am. But I usually hear from you or from one of the other guys that sort of stuff, or I see it on IG. But I have seen some quick flashes. Stephen Ewan becoming a Sentry, and I'm like, I don't know whether that's a great pick or not. Like, I don't know much about the actor himself.
Well, that's a better question. Do you really know much about the character?
Yeah, that too, because being a more, what I would classify a more recent character.
Sentry, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know like hardly anything about Sentry. I know of him. I know what he looks like. I know what
He looks just like
costume.
Stephen Yeun.
From what I say, nothing like him. Yeah, I did say something about Pedro Pascal maybe playing or is playing Mr. Fantastic as a possibility. But that's about as far as my knowledge goes.
Well, you're up to speed then.
Yep, you're caught up. The only thing you need to add to that is Rob hates old people. Now you're fully up to speed.
No, I already knew that.
Rob weighed in, and that was the consensus. That's how we all took it.
I still reckon John Krasinski come back because he looks the part to me, but that's just me personally. That's only because it was a fan.
Turned into one of those things like it was never going to happen, so they did like what they could for just a little fun little fan thing.
That was when the fan thing actually came into fruition, sort of thing.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. But I'm with Rob. I'm with Rob. Like, to hell with these old people, like John Krasinski and Emily Blunt. I don't think that they need to. Like, they're great for the role, but are they great to carry their role for an extensive amount of time, which you would expect not the actors but the characters to, and unless you want to have to deal with changing actors, right? Like,
which Disney has shown us that they're unwilling to do, unless you're an African American male.
Yes. And then Pedro Pascal is kind of suffering from the same thing. Phenomenal actor, beloved by everybody. And I don't know.
I haven't seen anybody say, "Yeah, this is great."
Yeah, nobody. But then again, like we know from history the whole Michael Keaton, Heath Ledger effect. But I don't know. I don't think it's a matter of Pedro Pascal being able to play the role or not. It's just my mind goes right where Rob's mind goes. What do they need him for? Like one movie? That's it.
Yeah, it's a longevity sort of thing. Yeah, and like I, to be perfectly honest, I'm one of those guys that I prefer somebody to play the role throughout, if possible. But obviously, things get in the way. Obviously, actors get bigger, better opportunities, Oscar-winning possibility roles and things like that. So they have to bail on stuff. Like, obviously, we don't always get, like you look at the old thing of there's been memes about how many Superman has there been, how many Batman has there been, how many Spider-Man has there been, but there's only been one Wolverine. Stuff like that sort of thing. But you can't always get that sort of longevity out of actors, unfortunately.
True, and one of the things I think of when I think of Reed Richards, right, is everybody has their weakness. Reed Richards' weakness is generally his own hubris, the fact that he thinks he's up here above everybody else, right? And he occasionally makes gaffes based on not thinking that he's the smartest person in the room and he can't do no wrong. And having somebody who's a little more seasoned of an actor, that's kind of a young man's type of thing, is getting too full of yourself and getting too cocky and everything else that gets yourself into trouble. And having a more seasoned individual, you would expect that less. Not that it doesn't happen at all, because don't get me wrong. As we get older, sometimes we get full of ourselves still too. But generally, it's a fault, of being of throwing caution to the wind and being overly confident in your abilities. Everything else tends to be something that you think of more frequently with younger men than necessarily older men who may have learned from a few mistakes.
I like the angle they went with young Gruford in the the two that we got already, where he wasn't necessarily like the fool of himself, Mr. Fantastic, but he was the workaholic Mr. Fantastic, who then you start making errors from just overdoing it, kind of thing.
That too, yeah.
CJ's full of himself. Yeah, Chaos is in the chat pointing out to you, John, that Matt Fraction is the writer for Monarch.
Oh, that's cool.
The comic writer, yeah.
Yeah.
He's writing Monarch.
That's badass. Is he like is he the showrunner? Like he's in charge?
Yeah, there's two people with writing credits on the show, and he's 50% of it.
Wow.
So that's
badass.
That kind of explains why it's written well.
Right.
I said it's formatted kind of Tom King-ish. Like it's definitely got a great format. The pacing, it serves the pacing really well because it's like a very complex, dramatic main plot for the characters in the modern time, and you keep bouncing back to these flashbacks with their relatives. They just building
before they went.
Yeah, just keep so like you'd be sitting in like, dude, it's a like if you could fall, it opens up with this girl in Japan going to an apartment, like her dad is presumed dead, missing, and she was left a lease to an apartment that she didn't know that he owned in Japan and the keys to it. She goes into it to see what he had left for her, and she finds pictures of him on the wall with a whole second family, and that family still lives in that apartment. And so you're like, he had a whole second family that neither one knew about, and so you're diving into like some heavy topics. So the human angle is great, but then they keep breaking it. You don't spend too much time, like an overwhelming amount of time in either modern or flashback before you're going back to it. So it keeps you like on the edge of your seat about each little scene, and you're getting important bits of information the whole time.
Get out of here, Chris. All right, well, I got my Avengers box and my Thor box and my Strange Academy stuff done.
Moving right along.
Yeah, flying through it. I need 25 more boxes to go.
Yeah, jeez. I'm going to go and see what the girls are up to, actually. So I'm going to bail out, I think.
Are you out for the week?
Yes, off until Monday the 27th.
Nice. Both the kids are out. I'm excited.
Yeah, we're going to try to get dentist appointments and vet appointments in, all the little things that we've been putting off. We'll get in the next week. We're going to do all of it.
Well, I'm sorry.
And scanning books.
And then, yes, the rest of the time, jumping in on every single Simon stream that he's got the next week.
I picture John in multiple different waiting rooms with a book bag full of comics, just scanning books. Sound on, definitely.
Highest volume possible, like Tony does.
As I said, I turned that off after about 2 hours. I was like, no, that's enough of that. I can't do it anymore.
I mean, I get it. I get it. All right, guys. Have a good night.
See you, John.
Easy, John. Yeah, I'm about to hop off here as well. The kids are quiet now, so I think they're asleep. I'm willing to go back in the room.
Yeah, I think I'm actually going to call it. I got a few things to do, so.
Enjoy your few things. It was good talking with you guys. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate. I think I need to get that clip from Remy. Another one. Oh boy!
I thought you're gonna get that. It's closing time.
No, no, I'm not getting the closing time one. I might eventually get a closing one. I might ask Loowee to come up with a closing one as well, but then it'll probably be like 2 or 3 minutes long, and nothing can top the intro. So, all right, beautiful. All right, thank you everybody who jumped in on the panel. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Greatly appreciate it. I do not have an end song, but we'll say it with thank you very much. Take care, everybody, and